Hello everyone and welcome to the Gfinity European Pro League Season 2 finale. I'm your host Richard Lewis. Yes, don't adjust your set. It's that guy from Counter-Strike. They couldn't get anyone else. You're just going to have to deal with it. And helping you deal with it are going to be two of the finest analysts from the Call of Duty scene, so I'm told. We've got Trout, or Trouty as I'm calling him. Your credentials are impeccable, mate.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big deal in some respects.
Dying being the chief one, apparently.
Yeah. And on the far end, we've got the other analyst, right? Brycey. Now, I'm a bit confused about this, mate, because last time I did an event, you were fetching me sandwiches. So what happened?
I improved.
I stepped up
a few little bits. This is my arena now.
All right, cool.
This is
cool.
where I stepped
so
in.
You actually do know about Call of Duty?
Yeah. Fortunately, a little bit.
Awesome. Well, look, guys, we're going to have plenty of time to banter, but without any further ado, I think we need to let everybody at home know about the schedule. Apparently, Call of Duty events, man, they come thick and fast, and we're going to be bringing you all of the round 5 games today, as well as 2 of the round 6 games. So that's going to be roughly 12 hours of Call of Duty.
It's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a beast. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the other 2 round of 6 games, so round 6 games, and then we're going to go through to round 7 and all of the round 7 games. So as we're going to also show you the overview and prize pool now, just in case you haven't been following, and if you haven't, you know, why not? We've got 8 of Europe's finest teams here. We're going to have the teams playing 7 games per season. It's in a league format. All games consist of 6 maps, so every map is going to be played. There are no vetoes here. You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and the bottom 2 teams are theoretically relegated, although we're not too sure whether that's going to matter. It might just be they have to live the rest of their lives in disgrace.
Well, if it's going the way it is, there's definitely going to be some disgrace.
Ready to go on, yeah.
Well, we can definitely get into that. And it's worth mentioning as well, of course, we have got the prize money there. It was 7,000 English pounds for the winner. And you saw it was all broken up. I don't need to read that to you. You're clever. You're older. The Optic fans, get a grown-up to help you out. All right?
Okay.
Boom. We're in. We're doing a show. Right, okay. So let's talk about those 8 aforementioned teams, yeah? Let's have a look and see who we've got. And the UK, well represented here in this European League. Apparently, we are good at something.
Well, in the grand scheme, not so good.
In the grand scheme, still not really.
No.
But yeah, here in Europe, European Call of Duty is dominated by the UK for very good reasons. It seems all the best players gravitate from here, and obviously they chase the Americans. The Americans still the stronger scene, but we do okay. Speaking of the teams we've got on our screen right now, for me, actually kind of tallies up quite nicely. The top 4 you guys can see on the screen are pretty much what I'd call the top 4 teams in the league. There are obviously some big names. It's kind of diversified from what we expected, you know, back in previous European history. There's more than 1 team or 2 teams who can kind of dominate. So Epsilon, Vitality, Millennium, and Infused all have big names in there. They're great teams. Hypergames, IGI, VWS, and Spirit are all underdogs at this event, and no one's expecting too much from any of them.
And who's your pick, Trouty?
It's got to be Millennium. They're looking incredibly fierce. There's been a lot of changes since the 100K, where some teams look stronger on paper, but like in practice, they look a little bit weaker at times. So it's going to be an interesting weekend.
Well, let's take a look at the fixtures. Let's see who's going to be going up against what. In the early stages, we've got the Whipping Boys, IGI eSports, going up against Spirit Gaming. We'll talk more about IGI's wretched season in just a little bit. Team Infuse is going to be playing VWS Gaming. Game of the day, Vitality versus Millennium. That's going to be a corker, apparently. And Hypergames versus Epsilon eSports there at the bottom. Now, we're also going to be able to bring you up some league standings. But just before we do get those on screen, let's talk about IGI, because this is an exceptional statistic for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Haven't won a single map yet.
No.
And you would expect in online Call of Duty anything can happen, that someone would pick up a map. And they made a load of changes after the transfer window. So right now, I don't really know what's going on with IGI. They look really, really confused as to how to actually win a map. And if they don't win one this weekend, it's going to be a big eye opener.
Well, they'll have played the entire league online and come to this event for essentially a free Nando's. That's basically what they've come here for, and that's the highlight of their entire league. If they don't win a map at this event, Nando's should refuse to serve them.
We could probably make that happen, actually. That's the terrifying thing. That's the power we wield here.
It really beggars belief. If they cannot win a single map this weekend, there's something seriously wrong.
Well, let's take a look at the standings, because I don't think people at home maybe realize just how bad things have got. And you can see this is unprecedented in Gfinity history that IGI eSports haven't took a single map. There they are, rock bottom, -24. Now, we've talked about, in the pre-show, about some of the teams here and how the UK are kind of, a bit stronger with the exception, and Millennium are right up there. Hyper Games, though, a team that we talked about how weak they are. Even they're kind of like, looking down. Thank God IGI are here. Like,
yeah.
We'd look really bad if it wasn't for these dudes. I mean, it's incredible. What is it? Because even in something like Search and Destroy, right, which we would expect to be like, there's always that random chance, anything can happen online. What are they doing so hideously wrong?
Honestly, you're talking about there is a bit of a gap here between some of the top players and some of the lower players in the UK especially. And the reason that happens is there's been a lot of top players in the UK saying they've been around for a long time. And these are the players that tend to get the advantage of going to international events. Yeah. So a lot of these top teams, your Millennium, your Vita, have all got players who've competed internationally. And that level of practice, that level of competition is way beyond most teams and players here. So there is that gap. It's the reason that for years, TCM and Epsilon were the top two orgs and very few people would come close to them because they simply had more funding. They could go to big internationals. They were getting this really good practice, all year round. So they are just better. And there's that slight gap. They look at the game different. They practice different. They practice like the Americans do. So there is that little bit of a gap here. Admittedly, IGI should have had some maps somewhere. I'm sure there's a deeper meaning for why it's not gone quite their way. But even then, I mean, to not pull it up against like any of these teams, not even an S&D, is incredible. Yeah,
really. Anything to add to that, Trav?
Well, I think you've got to also take into consideration the simple fact of life is that you can't always dedicate. You've either got to go hard at this or you kind of dabble in it a little bit, and IGI are probably one of those teams that can't dedicate every single moment of every single day to it. I know there's players in the IGI lineup who have got things going on outside of Call of Duty. They've got jobs, they've got school, they've got all sorts of commitments going on. So you have to take into fact that they can't practice every single day, and obviously, as you said, they can't go to international events as a result of it. They can't play this game to its fullest extent. So there are things they're obviously going to miss out on, and it's fair to say that last season they finished second in the championship. I don't think they lost a single series that they played. And it's just such a drastic difference compared to what we saw last season, especially when these teams play each other online all the time in cups and stuff like that on our online platform. They actually do a really good job of playing against each other, and a lot of times they can cause some upsets. So it's really interesting to see how a little bit more worth into the actual competition separates the two so much. There is just such a huge gap between the teams as a whole.
Well, a huge step up in quality, obviously, between Championship and Premiership. But what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about our first game of the day, which we can see we've got some lovely. You can see all the players getting hydrated. We've got some lovely footage of them in there. So it is going to be IGI versus Spirit Gaming. So this is kind of like a little bit of a bargain basement kind of game, but Spirit.
Yeah, I think you kind of summed it up there perfectly, Richard. In my opinion, this Spirit Gaming, although they've got a big kind of fan base in their home country, they do struggle to make an impact sometimes. Anywhere in any major European competition, we only really see them for events like this.
Yeah.
And there's always a fluke chance. I mean, they are very good at some game types. They're very, very passionate, very, very loud. I'm sure if you get some of the booth shots during the game, you'll see them getting very, very hyped and very, very momentum-based. I said a few names in there: Palooka, Tahora.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Who are the danger men for Spirit Gaming? Who do we need to sort of pay attention to?
Honestly, I'm kind of going to be looking at Palooka. I've always kind of rated him as a good player. Like I said, they're all quite wildly inconsistent at times, so you've got to worry a little bit about that. Yeah. Tahora is actually one of the more famous names. And to be honest with you, the reason he's one of the more famous names is not his game style, but the fact he's the only one who really speaks good English in that squad. Right. So you always get him on camera. But it's going to be one of the ones where Palooka could pull it out there. I've heard good things about UFO as well. For me, this is do or die here. If they struggle against IGI, it will be going, well, any game you've won online is now, under circumspect because you're playing from Spain against, UK teams. So if they struggle to pull this out here and have a really bad start, I can't see them winning anything else over the weekend.
So this is kind of hit the ground running for Spirit Gaming, kind of set the tone. And, you have got the ultimate opponents to do it against. Like, this is kind of when you try, like, if you were training a boxer, this is like, you put them in with the bum, like just some doorman you found. Like, go on, just, like, if you last 4 rounds, you get 20 quid. There you go. Go on, do your thing.
Pretty
so,
much.
I mean, Spirit Gaming, they'll be feeling confident, right?
They'll be feeling confident. I mean, their previous games, they've actually got a victory over Vitality on online, which obviously them being third in the table is quite a big thing.
Scalp,
it gives you a lot of confidence going in it. But looking back at their other games, they've lost to VWS, they lost to Millennium, another team top of the table, and Infuse they drew against, who are second in the league. So arguably they've had all of their hardest games online. So going into this, they're probably feeling pretty confident about themselves, especially when IGI in the form they are. They've lost every single game 6-0 so far against Infuse, Vitality, Hyper Games, and Epsilon.
This IGI roster, I mean, there are a lot of names in here that, you know, don't really kind of bubble up to anybody's recognition. I mean, Kamba I've heard of, Harley and Tank are, you know, names that I've heard in passing.
Sowers as well.
Sowers is the name. Sowers is the only name in here that you can go, oh, he's a veteran. He's actually won events. I mean, I think the last time he won an event going back is either I-47 or I-46 after he got dropped and it was the Revenge.
Modern Warfare 3 era.
Yeah. But it was, no, it was Black Ops.
Well, that's a question from a Call of Duty noob here. How does an established veteran that's won events end up in a team that can't win a map? What went
school,
wrong?
work. I know I know Sowers had college or university at one point over the past year or two. He actually really got into Call of Duty Ghosts at the start of it, and then it just suddenly dropped off. I think that was due to outside commitments, and we've seen that with a lot of players. A lot of players have gone away, they've come back and tried to get back into a top team, and the problem is, although they're all really good friends and they see each other all the time, they play together a lot, when it comes to now the fact that international Call of Duty is a thing, it's a regular occurrence for these players, they can't be taking risks on players who might not have the experience.
I think what hasn't helped him as well is that people don't maybe rate him that much. And he struggled because of that reason, and because he hasn't been able to get in these really good teams, he's actually had to play with worse teams. If you're playing with worse teams, you get bad habits, and like I said, a lot of this is catching up with the Americans, and it's constantly improving your game to whole new levels. I don't think Sowers had that exposure that he could have done if he'd played in a top 2 or 3 team, which he hasn't been in for God knows how long. So I think it's one of these reasons. I said Sowers right now is not rated as one of the top players in Europe. He's not on that level. Will he ever return? I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards no. I don't think he's ever going to come back to the top.
I think in gaming in general, it's very hard to get your break. I mean, any game that you play, there are always going to be the top tier of players who just aren't willing to take a risk. And I think in America, there are a lot of players and teams who are more willing to take a risk in general on players who might not necessarily be known as much. And over here, it's very much almost like a friendship group of people who get in, even at an amateur level, even at an amateur level like myself, getting into any sort of team to play with people is very, very difficult. Like, people don't want to take a risk just because obviously placements mean everything to people.
Just a final point there, Bryce, then we'll move over to predictions. You were going to say something, you had a point, you went,
I was just pointing out how the only time that's really happened recently was, funny enough, Epsilon have just picked up a brand new player who I've never seen play. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. And it was a big news because everyone went, who on earth is this guy? And that's for Epsilon to pick him up, you know, one of the most prestigious orgs in Europe. And internationally known, from 2 of the biggest known players in Europe, Swanee and Shane, who are known internationally even in the American scene. And Swanee's kind of the darling of Europe at the moment. For them to pick him up was like, who on earth is this player and how good is he? So I said that's one of the main things we're going to be looking at here to see whether or not giving a chance works.
So back to the game in hand. As you can see at home, we had the caster predictions coming up. Lots of people plumping for Spirit, perhaps not surprisingly. So I'm going to ask you guys for your predictions. I'll start with you, Bryce.
I'm gonna go with Spirit. However, I cannot see. There is no way IGI not gonna get a map. If they don't get a map, then there's something wrong. I don't know. You know, whether they've all been amputated at the wrist. But Spirit are a good team. They do have the ability to take it here. I don't see this as an IGI win simply based on previous form. IGI though should take at least a map or 2, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to go with the same, really. Spirit Gaming for me. Going to win it. I think 5-1 overall. I think IGI will probably be able to nick a map, might be on the search to destroy. The Spanish just look very, very good on form. IGI just not really firing at all.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for your thoughts. And without any further ado, I think we need to. Oh, of course, I nearly forgot this bit. That's meant to be good at this job. Of course, those are the thoughts of our experts. You at home probably fancy yourself as a bit of an expert. So if you want to tell us who you think's going to win and why, all you need to do is get on Twitter, which I'm told Call of Duty people love to bits, and you can tweet there at Gfinity. Dead easy. We're going to be doing some features as well, kind of player interviews and behind the scenes at Gfinity. You can get over to the YouTube channel and check that out as well. All the social media. If you still use Facebook, if you're in your 40s. You can get on Facebook as well and do that. But now, without any further ado, we're going to go over to our casters, which is going to be good because I've never even heard a Call of Duty game get cast before. I'm not ashamed to say it.
So this will be fun.
This is all part of broadening my education and broadening my horizons. So we're going to have Courage and Ink who are going to be casting this opening game. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much. We are down here at the caster's desk, the first matchup of the weekend of the EU Gfinity Pro League finale. Courage as well as Ink. Ink, good to see you again, my friend. How you doing?
Not too bad. It's been a long time. Well, actually only a few weeks, but it felt like an eternity.
Not too bad. Yeah, no, but good to be back out here in London, and I know a lot of people are saying, you know, Courage, you're all the way over there in America. How much you know about these EU teams? I've been learning a lot about them in the recent weeks coming into the event.
Yeah.
Want to prepare myself and also get to meet some of the players who I haven't really been able to see. Some of these guys weren't at the Gfinity 100K, obviously. That was just a few weeks ago. But a lot to look forward to this weekend. Obviously, money on the line. 12 matches going to be going down. All 6 games in each match we're going to see. There's a look at IGI, one of the first 2 teams in this match. And to start things off, we have the players ready in the lobby. I've got to ask, who do you think takes this series?
I am going to go with the dream. I'm going to say IGI are going to win this series.
Wow.
And the reason I say that is because something the analysts didn't mention was the fact that the only 2 games which Spirit have actually got points from have actually been against teams where they've had connection issues with regards to Vitality. One of the players was booted. Infused also, one of the players was booted as well. So I've got question marks about Spirit Gaming. I believe in the dream, Spirit Gaming, but there's only one way to find out.
You mentioned they haven't won a map yet. Let's take a look at the maps we're going to be seeing in this first series of the day between Spirit Gaming and IGI eSports. To start things off, we've got Detroit Hardpoint. Obviously, you can see the home team there is going to be Spirit Gaming. Game number 2 will be Solar Hardpoint. Then finally, we'll move into Comeback Uplink, Biolab Uplink, and then to end it all, Search and Destroy on Skyrise and Search and Destroy on Riot and Ink. The big thing for me there, Search and Destroy on Skyrise. One of the first times we're going to be seeing DLC maps played on LAN here in the EU Gfinity Pro League.
Yeah, 100%. Well, if the whole league is anything to go off of, Skyrise S&D has been insane to watch. We've seen some unbelievable aces, general clips generally, and I'm really looking forward to casting that. But obviously, starting off here on Detroit on Hardpoint. And Courage, who are we going to start on board with?
I'm on board with Palooka.
Palooka.
One, because he's known for his sub play on this Spirit Gaming team, but also because he's probably got my favorite gamer tag in the entirety of the Call of Duty scene. I love Palooka. I don't know why, I just think of like a Mario character when I hear that name. But to start things off for the EU Gfinity Pro League finale, Palooka going to be playing that objective for his squad. He's already inside the hardpoint.
Yeah, 100%. Well, obviously, this first hardpoint, all about contest time, as you guys know, watching on stream. But obviously, this can be the difference between a victory and a defeat, because these 2 teams are going to be very closely matched, in my view, throughout this entire series. Both of these teams fighting against relegation as we speak. And to be honest with you, we've spoken about momentum on the analyst desk, but how important do you think this first map will be with regards to building that momentum?
I mean, you kind of got to think, how does this IGI squad avoid relegation? Do they even have a chance? Yes, there's still some opportunity there, but will it happen? Everyone's leaning towards no. They think they're dropping down into relegation.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, you have Spirit Gaming, who right now are just 1 point above Hyper Games in regards to being the bottom 2 teams in the season.
Yeah.
So this is a big matchup to start their weekend. You heard from Bryce and the boys there on the analyst desk that this is a big momentum game. They've got to start off hot this weekend. Right now, they're up by 25 seconds. If you're a fan of Spirit Gaming, you got to have a smile on your face after that one.
Yeah, 100%. Well, the thing is, we're back on board with Palooka. He's only 2-1, but he's been doing a lot of the objective work as we speak. I mean, we've all been having a go at Vonderhaar saying, put in hill time statistics. And this is the reason why, because Palooka is doing a lot of the work thus far. However, currently on board with Cambo, 4 and 5. Oh, just gets taken out there in and around that blue area. Harley also taken out there by Tojol. Now, Tojol, fairly established player at this level. competed in the first season of the ePro League for Gamers 2. Gamers 2 unfortunately did get relegated by eventually a playoff, but saying that, Tojo finding a new home in Spirit Gaming, and he started off well, 7-4 at the moment, but Tank also starting well on a 3-streak. Gun battle going down, taken out from behind there, but it looks like IGI are actually making a little bit of a comeback.
And something funny to point out is, coming from the North American aspect of the scene, the way that this entire hill was just played by the boys on IGI was very different from anything I'm used to seeing. Instead of just being content with sitting inside of green, they kept trying to send their sub player into blue. Yeah. Yes, they were able to get a couple trade kills, didn't work out in their favor. Yes, they technically won that hill in regards to mounting a little bit of a comeback. They were able to narrow the deficit from about 25 to around 10 there momentarily. But really, I'm not sure if I fully agree with that one. You gotta love to see a few players sit that middle street with an AR. Yeah. They could easily help and rotate, kill the players pushing that green alley. Off the start, though, it's been a very back and forth game. Hill number 1, all Spirit Gaming. Hill number 2, much better held down there from IGI. And the start of Hill 3 was in Spirit Gaming's control, but the spawns have been flipped. 10 seconds now separating these two teams.
Yeah, but this is a fight which IGI are willing to bring to this stage. Everyone is saying that, you know, Spirit Gaming have probably got this wrapped up. They're going to be looking at increasing their map difference, making it look better to avoid relegation. Last season, relegation did come down to map difference, so they're going to know how crucial that is. But that being said, IGI only just behind at this stage. However, Spirit Gaming first on the rotation in around yellow. Big 2-piece coming up from Palooka. Just about gets it there. Now backing off in towards yellow as well. Trophy system saving him there. Gun battle. Oh no, Tojo saves his teammate there. But thus far, Spirit Gaming are looking more... Well, they're looking a little bit like a unit at the moment. They look like a team of 4, a squad. They're all covering one another. They're literally helping one another out at every possible stage. Whereas, at the moment, IGI looking more like individuals. I mean, Sours, 16 and 9 right now. Double the amount of kills, or the second highest amount of kills on his team.
Yeah, he's the reason why his team is even in the game at the moment. You can see Cambo, 5 and 15. Yes, he has 5 captures, but when Sours is pulling off plays like that, IGI are definitely going to have a chance in this series. 18 and 9 in a 5 streak, finally getting cut down by Tahor, but they're going to rotate here into school with IGI up by about 3 seconds.
Well, I'm currently looking at Cambo. I was looking at Cambo. 6 and 16. Not a great start whatsoever for him. However, back on board with Palooka. Gunbow in the street. Oh, wow. Destroys Cambo. The player in question is going to pick up that AR as well and fire towards down this mid-street area. Oh, naded there by Sours. UFO trades it up, though. But right now, it's literally so neck and neck. It looks like the early rotation always tends to go towards Spirit Gaming. But then IGI get the scrap time. They hit back. But this hill, the opposite has happened. It looks like IGI are first on the rotation. So the question is, can they set up properly?
You know what it's really come down to is Spirit Gaming squad. Yes, they're all performing as much as they need to. They're all pulling their own weight. Cambo was triple negative at one point, now beginning to mount a little bit of a comeback for himself. Yeah. They've done a much better job, IGI, in breaking the hard points. Spirit Gaming get a setup like we're seeing right now. They get a setup, and then IGI toss it a couple nades there. Sours picked one up, and they're able to immediately break it and do a much better time of chaining together time. Yeah. After our first set of hills, there's only 4 seconds separating these two teams. A much closer start to this series than I would have expected.
Well, to be honest, this is the relegation game in my view. Loser will definitely go down in my humble opinion. But with that being said, currently on board with UFO on a 3 streak in around that mid-out. It's going to turn around, fighting towards blue. Oh, hasn't got the kill yet. Nade is just going to miss him. Looks like his teammate is going to off some cover, but no, Sours nade takes out Palooka. However, no one has taken UFO off this hill just yet. As soon as I say that, Harley goes in, breaks that hill control. But IGI, they definitely need to get some hill time, try and build a little bit of a lead, because right now, it looks like they're always playing catch-up. And then at the end of the hill, yeah, they'll be leading by 3 seconds, but then at the start of the next hill, they're going to lose it instantly. You know, this game is running out of time right now. 4 minutes remaining. You need to start building a lead right now.
Cambo just went huge.
Wow, we actually switched weapons as well.
Yes, swapping over to that Bal, able to pick up the 2-piece with the hip fire. Gonna keep his team in the lead momentarily, but unfortunately for him, the boys on Spirit Gaming are now bouncing back. This next rotation is gonna be absolutely crucial here, Inc. You can see on your minimap, 2 players pushing from the back school area from IGI. SG are there to meet them. Let's see who can win these massive gunfights.
Oh, wow. Harley wins a big first gunfight there on UFO. 4 spawns. IGI in a better position right now. However, it looks like the deficit is starting to get rather substantial, should we say. Over 20 seconds now, but we've seen it time and time again from IGI. They get into that hill, they break the hill control eventually, get the scrap time, and then they build a slight lead. But Sours right now, 27 kills to his name. Player in second on his team with kills is 18 kills, and that's Harley. At the moment, he is carrying that squad, but I don't think, that's necessarily enough at this stage.
Sours doing everything for his team, picking up the 2-piece there. And the spawns even worked out in IGI's favor. They wound up having 3 players spawn up in school, able to get that cutoff. Unfortunately, though, for them, momentarily, it does look like the spawns have flipped. SG gonna get the last few seconds of scrap time, remain in the lead by about 13 seconds as we move into the garage hardpoint.
Yeah, well, Sours is about to go big. Picks up a 2-piece set on Tojol and UFO. Sours right now, he is IGI's only hope, to be honest with you. 30 bomb, most kills in the lobby thus far. UFO, though, winning a huge gun battle there on tank, which means Harley is pretty much all on his own. But Tojol goes in, breaks the hill, fire down this ramp area, and it looks like Sours is in trouble here, taken out. And it looks like the lead is going to be rebuilt here. But IGI, can they get this hill back? Because right now, they're running out of hills. It's all well and good going behind, but you need to win those rotations.
This is where IGI needs to slow down. If you look on your minimap, they're flooding in one by one, and SG is doing a fantastic job of clearing them out. They have the number advantage inside the hard point, and it's now reflecting in the score and control. This is the best chance IGI has had of breaking. They have 2 players in. They're going up against 2, but UFO there on the head glitch on ramp, cuts them both down. A lead that was just 4 seconds going into this hill is now a 32-second lead.
But it looks like IGI are on the rotation. Big early gun battles going down. It looks like Sours actually takes out his own teammate there. That is not going to help IGI's case whatsoever. UFO also wins a big gun battle coming from green, and the hill has been broken. This should be game done and dusted. However, there's still time to play for. Spirit Gaming need to set up correctly here, and this will be map one done and dusted. But Harley wins a big gun battle on Tojol. Looks like UFO trades it up, though, on Sours. Harley winning another big gun battle. Is he got a 3-piece there? Pushing into yellow, looking towards his back door. Is he going to get a 4th? No, taken out by Sammy. But Tank, another team kill from IGI.
And here is where IGI is now beginning to mount the comeback. They're pushing as a team. They weren't doing it on the garage hardpoint. I guarantee you their shot callers said, guys, let's slow it down. Let's work together. They've done just that. They have control. They need this last bit of scrap time, though, Inc. If they can't get that, the game will be mathematically over. Well, they're going to do just that, it appears. One last push coming from Spirit Gaming. The first kill from Harley, the second from Sours. But now they need to get across the map because all control is coming into the school hardpoint, and well, Spirit Gaming has control of it.
It was a little bit weird there from Spirit Gaming. I had 2 players push 2 seconds on the yellow hardpoint. In a way, them being taken out actually helped them with the respawn there.
Well, that was their thought process.
Yeah.
They wanted to die going into that one. You can see they kind of just idly ran from the trailer area. They got taken out, spawned up back school. That gave them early control. But with 25 seconds remaining, only 15 seconds between these 2 teams, anyone can come out on top here.
Well, 10 seconds in and now, 18 seconds remaining. So UFO can be pushing into this hill, wins a big gun battle there. Tojol there in support. UFO breaks the hill and wins a game there for Spirit Gaming. But what an impressive first map that was. These 2 teams are hungry to win this series.
Well, now 0-25 in map count as IGI. That one was definitely one of their closer ones, and I've got to give a shout out to Sours. 40-27, I believe he was at the end of that one.
Wow.
The #1 reason why his team was, well, even in the game, 8 captures and 5 defends as well. But there you can see on your scoreboard in the final moments, UFO and Tojol went huge for their team, able to clutch up, and I got to give a shout out to him because what it came down to, Inc., was they were spawning up in that back school area, and instead of trying to push in one by one where they could have easily been stunned or naded and cleaned up, they decided to have 2 players sit on either side of lockers, utilize the dash feature there in Advanced Warfare to get in right away, catch the opponents off guard. UFO cleaned them out. He immediately began to push towards fire to stop any aggression from there. Great plays in the final moments, clutch moments going over to Spirit Gaming. And there's a look at your scoreboard yet again. 37-27, a 1.37 KD ratio, leading or tying his team for most captures and 4 defends as well. Dahor with the big game, #1.
Yeah, but saying that, I really do feel bad for Sowers. I mean, it was spoken briefly about, you know, in the analyst deck, Sowers top player, but he's having to, you know, potentially settle for a slightly worse side or a more unknown side, I should say. But, you know, he's really not doing injustice to himself right there. Putting in a performance, I mean, the kills he was getting, the feeds he was getting, breaking hills pretty much single-handedly. Very, very unlucky. But saying that, it was still a great performance from IGI. Cambo probably let them down a little bit. I think his final statistic was about 22 to 41. Definitely needed a few more kills in and around that hill area. But saying that, headed into solo hardpoint, if you're IGI, you think, well, hang on, guys. That was a good performance from us. Like, you can work with that. I mean, they lost map number 1, but they're kind of used to losing maps. So I don't think it's going to... But it's not going to get in their head. Like, well, if you have a top team and they're not used to losing maps, if they lose the first map, their head can completely drop.
Might get flustered,
Yeah, but with these guys, they're kind of used to it in a way. I don't mean that horribly at all, but now they can just bounce back and say, right, we just put in a hell of a performance. We made a couple mistakes, but now let's put those mistakes right in map number 2. Because if it goes 1-1, essentially no side has a momentum, and it goes back to a level playing field. But I think IGI, they've done well, but SG did well to clutch up at the end there.
Something to point out is energy, as you were mentioning, is going to be key coming into the second hard point. I've never been able to experience casting a Super 6 series before. Obviously, all 6 maps get played. But instead of going in right into a Game 2 Search and Destroy where the pace kind of slows down a little bit, you got to keep your composure. You got to bounce back from what was a very energetic and crazy game number 1 hard point. Now, heading into this Game 2, you're going back into another game where you could have 130-plus engagements on your team on a map like Solar. Winning those long-range gun battles comes in even more important over a map like Detroit. Now in Solar, you could see on that top lot hardpoint just how crucial the BAL can be. The first one as well, locking down that glass wall area. Which AR player is going to step up the most for their respective squad? If you are just tuning in, Game 1 going to Spirit Gaming in the final hardpoint. Now though, map number 2. Going to be Solar Hardpoint. Once again, this Super 6 series, you'll have both hardpoints to start things off, then both uplinks, which will be on Comeback and Biolab, and then we'll end the series with a DLC map and Skyrise, and then Riot, Search and Destroy.
Well, the thing we have to emphasize also at the bottom of the screen, you can see who chose what map. So Spirit Gaming did choose Detroit, so that's kind of their pick gone out of the way, and now it's on to IGI's choice. Now, with that being said, you'd say that, well, if it's their choice, they must be pretty good at it. They must be confident that they can do something on that. But saying, you know, if I look at these two sides, I say AR-wise, Spirit Gaming probably have the more presence with that AR, particularly with the likes of, well, to be fair, all 4 can essentially use it. Probably not Palooka, but UFO is going to kick off with an AR. Sammy also using an AR as well, so 2 ARs, 2 subs into this first hard point here. But right now, Spirit Gaming, which side would you say is preferable when you spawn in on this hard point?
I mean,
would you prefer being Spirit Gaming side?
Oh, yeah, already the UFO with top control of glass, beautiful use of the stun there. It's a 2-2 setup for both teams, so both squads rocking 2 ARs, 2 subs. UFO being able to pick up a couple kills there, but gets cut down by the opponent off the start. 14-0 lead for Spirit Gaming. That is a beautiful start if you're a fan of that squad.
Yeah, but we saw this in the Detroit hardpoint as well. Spirit Gaming start hot towards every single hill, but then they just kind of get a little bit lazy towards the end. But saying that, it looks like they're not going to be doing that this time. 20 seconds left of this first hardpoint, but saying that, in Solar, first hardpoint is kind of like a dead hardpoint, mostly contest time. No one really builds a substantial lead, but after that, every single hardpoint on Solar, you can get serious money time. But with that being said, first in rotation, looks like it's going to be IGI.
Not only have SG won hill number 1 and score, but in regards to the spawns as well, they've locked down that top side. This one flank, though, that's Harley just destroyed Palooka. Cambo actually was able to flank the Spirit Gaming squad, so just as I was mentioning that, IGI doing a fantastic job of taking those few extra seconds to push out the glass wall area and lock down the spawns for his team, but there loses a gunfight to a sub that really he just should not lose in any occasion.
No, also 2 players there flanking for Spirit Gaming, so they realize the importance of holding these spawns. But once again, Harley on the flank, winning big gun battles. He's going to switch the AR. Almost has a 3-piece there. UFO, though, goes big with a 3-piece of his own. Cambo, currently 3 and 6. He definitely needs to make up for a slightly poor performance in the first hardpoint. Taken out, though, by Tojo, but Sowers trades it up. IGI, once again, doing enough to hang on in the game, and they may even go into the third hardpoint with a slight advantage.
And you even mentioned it, you hit the nail on the head earlier, Ink, that Spirit Gaming gets off very hot in hill number 1 and then kind of slows down. They're up by 12 seconds. They do have early control of the garage hardpoint, but on your minimap, there are 4 blue arrows breathing down their necks at the moment. Going to be up to Tohor to hold this one down.
Yeah, 100%. Tojo almost got turned on them, but it looks like he's going to... Oh, wow! Turns on Tank! Wow, that's absolutely ridiculous. UFO, though, currently 6 and 7. Using that AI is going to go for those preferable spawns here. Tank looks like he's just in front of him, but... Oh, UFO's under severe fire. He doesn't know where he's being shot from. He's just spinning around going, guys, where? But anyway, it looks like Sowers is going to try and hold spawns of his own, but UFO should be able to flip that. But whilst we've been speaking, Spirit Gaming have actually built a rather substantial lead here. I mean, it's only around 22 seconds, but going into that hill, there's only about 3 seconds in it, so well played from them.
What it is, it's been just the teams flooding each other in the hard point.
Yeah.
Right now, you can even see on your minimap, just teams continuing to push players from either side of that garage hill, setting them in from yellow as well as lot side. Yeah. Early on in that hard point, Spirit Gaming was coming out on top. They were able to kind of just grab a couple seconds here and there. Very scrappy play style. But then the last 15 seconds of that one went over to IGI, so they brought it back within 10. But by doing that, they gave up early control of this top lot hill, and, well, Spirit Gaming do a fantastic job of holding off the push.
100%. I mean, currently on board with Tojo 16 and 9.
Palooka's 2 and 13.
Oh.
I just noticed that.
Okay, well, I've only just noticed that as well.
And they're still up by 30 seconds. I mean, Spirit Gaming, you never want to see a player like Palooka have such a tough game like this. -6. Over a -6 KD ratio at the moment. You never want to see that type of start from him, but if his team can keep it keep a lead of 35 seconds, and he's basically a non-factor in this one, you gotta think that if he can begin to heat up, SG are just going to pull away with this one.
100%. Well, the thing is you spoke about this in the last hard point. It looks like IGI push hills on an individual basis. They're not going in as a team. And right now, there were 2 players pushing that final hill, which is fair enough. But generally speaking, it still looks like Spirit Gaming are pushing things as units, setting up as a unit. Whereas IGI at the moment, once again, perhaps relying on individuals. But saying that, Harley, 18 and 14, having a good game thus far. But Palooka, 3 and 17, all the way at the bottom there. What do you think he's doing wrong at this stage? Because he had a good game in the first map.
I mean, right now, he has that sub in hand. He's going up against multiple AR players. You can see losing another close-range gun battle there, getting stunned out. Maybe he's just not forcing the gunfights in the best way. Maybe he's just not on his game, obviously, at the moment. 3 and 18. One of the worst stat lines I've seen so far in a matchup here in AW. But to try to get off the hate on Palooka train at the moment, let's just talk about this IGI squad versus the SG squad. From what I'm seeing from SG, and you mentioned it before, pushing the hard point as a team is something that obviously the American teams do so well, and some of the top European squads do very well. Is the communication is so key in that respect. Your shot caller needs to know, hey, if we keep flooding 1 by 1, we're never going to wind up breaking it. Yes, you might need to do that at the end of the game, right, when you're in panic mode and you just need to get, if we can break it 2 seconds earlier, that increases our chances of winning by so much because we need to mount a comeback. At this point, there's no reason for IGI to be doing that. There's still 4.5 minutes of gameplay left, and they're only down by 30. You'd much rather see them halt, wait up, utilize grouping of stunts together, grouping of nades to kind of force players out of strong spots to then get the breaks in their favor. Right now, though, Spirit Gaming continuing to pull away a very similar look to what we saw in game number 1.
It's just about having discipline as a squad, to be honest with you. I mean, it seems very easy for players to just kind of focus too much on the actual score. Right, we're 40 seconds down, get in the hill, get in the hill, get in the hill. But they do it individually, which means they're actually going to lose more time by them being almost overly callous and not being patient. But with that being said, you know, IGI are still in this game. There's only around 33 seconds in it at this stage. Harley going to try and get the scrap time here, which should put them at 30-second deficit exactly. Harley also first on the rotation as well. He's going to actually go for those spawns. Taken out, though, from behind. Tank trades it up, though, on Palooka. Palooka starting to mount a little bit of a fight back here. 11 and 23. So he's gone from 3 and 19 to 11 and 24 now. That's not a bad recovery at all, and that's why Spirit Gaming have started to expand their lead. Sammy's now got spawn control of this mid-cut hard point.
Sammy.
Well, this should now be Spirit Gaming's hard point.
Sammy just went massive for his squad. He played that one so patiently, not using a single exo boost or movement to get all the way around that top lot area. He then checked every corner, won the gunfight on the player sitting top science building, and then from there was able to push into hard point and pick up a 2-piece as well. 7 seconds, though, separating these two teams. Now it's all tied up. still anyone's game to take. IGI have now got the advantage.
Yeah, but we spoke about Sours carrying in the last game for the IGI squad, but have a look at Sammy right now. 36 and 20, almost dropping a 2 KD on Respawn at LAN. That is no easy feat whatsoever. But that being said, Tojo going to try and make up the difference. But right now, Harley, 31 kills to his name, and perhaps he's also carrying for the IGI. So it seems battle of the individuals at the moment rather than the squads. But with that being said, Sours 20 and 20. Obviously a very, very hot first hard point. But that being said, a little bit slower this game, but he's still got time to make up the difference. Always a bit windy shots there. Shh, windy shots. But Palooka trades up the kill there on Sours. But saying that, IGI, they're still in the lead. 16 seconds of deficit. You know, it's not bad headed into the crucial hard win, is it?
No, not at all. And to quote you, I think earlier you said done and dusted, done and dusty. This one is not in that set. Yeah. I've been trying to learn my European phrases and wordings to kind of further assimilate with the culture here as Tank just stomped on Palooka. 3 seconds between these two squads. The little bit of scrap time should go over to IGI, but it appears UFO is winning gunfights inside the hill. No. Not only are they going to get the scrap time, but Spirit Gaming should have early control of the top lot. But when Sours is winning gunfights like that, IGI are going to keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Sours actually naded up Sammy as well, so Harley literally just had a 1-bullet kill there. But with that being said, Cambo currently on the hard point. Sours looking down this P1 area. IGI mounting the fight back, building the lead here, headed into the final hard point. However, scrap time will be so crucial on P4. That being said, UFO wins a huge gun battle on Cambo. Harley needs to go big here, or his team is in trouble. Shots going down, not connecting with anyone. UFO going big again, but Sours still in P1 here. It's all happening in P4 right now. 0 seconds of difference. Honestly, which side's going to win this?
Game number 1 went down to the final hill. Game number 2 is going to come down to the same clutch moments as well. To end that game UFO. 1, it was UFO picking up a 2-piece in that school hardpoint to lock it down there again. Wins 2 kills. Now getting the hardpoint control for his team. He can't be stopped. Spirit Gaming up by 12 seconds as we head to that back glass building.
We may as well call UFO Mr. 2-piece, because that's what he's been getting all series. Not just in this map, in the previous map as well. But right now, Sours going big, defending this final hill. There's 1 second in it with 38 seconds left to go. This really could go either way, but this map is bigger for IGI. If they win this map, they take momentum headed into map number 3, which is also a respawn. No S&D breaking up the respawn play. But right now, IGI, 26 seconds remaining, and there's a 8-second difference.
They continue to win the gunfights inside the hard point with 20 seconds left. The trades coming back and forth. One final push coming from Spirit Gaming. They need to lock it down through the end of this one. Sours picks up 2, gets the 3rd as well with the help of his team with 8 seconds remaining. That should mathematically do it. IGI have won their first map of the Gfinity EU Pro League. They were 0-25 coming into this hard point. Well, there you can see it. They don't even look like they've accomplished anything. It's their first.
They look miserable.
That's their first map win, and you would have thought they just lost that game.
You should be ecstatic.
I'm more excited than they are.
Stand up, put your hands in the air, come on.
And he's like, no, I'll just have some of this delicious H2O.
Num num num.
Well, there it is. Finally, it has happened. IGI eSports, reason to celebrate. They might have a very high chance of getting relegated, but at least they've won a darn map.
But the thing is once again, that was a close hardpoint. The first hardpoint map, I think that was only won by about 12 seconds as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual deficit was, because if both of those games were 12 seconds in it, that is absolutely insane statistics. But with that being said, Sammy, 46 kills, and he's on the losing side.
And this is something to point out, is if you look at the captures of this game, 10, 15, 9, 9, 7, 12, 7, 12, that is a large amount of captures, but then only 4 defense and 5 defense on the 2 respected teams. Very low for the amount of gunfights that you would expect inside of a hard point. And that really comes back down to the scrappy play style. Instead of it being teams pushing together and working to hold the hard point where you might have a person, let's say, watching over pipe side for that top lot hill, and then if they die, they can easily call it out to their team. They get the defend inside the hill. Instead, it's more, I flood in, pick up the entry kill. Now you flood in after me. You try to pick up a kill, but no, you die. So there's no real defense going down. It's more, well, I killed you, I captured it, and now I just got killed, and the other team just captured it.
100%.
And it showed there in the final moments, 12 seconds in favor of IGI. There's a look at Spirit Gaming. The series now tied up 1-1. If you are just tuning in, or, if you're an American viewer and you haven't been able to see too much of the EU Gfinity Pro League, right now, IGI eSports sitting at 0-4, have yet to win a series. That was their first map victory so far. On the other side of things, Spirit Gaming, they have 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. Overall, a -4 map count, and they've got 4 points to their name. They're in, I believe, 6th place this weekend, so they want to avoid getting relegated here. Obviously, the bottom 2 squads of the Pro League are relegated. There's a phone call going on in the booth. I think that's, Mom, I just won my first map. I'm no longer a failure at life.
Mom, I've won a map in the Pro League.
No, they're all much more talented than I could ever be at Call of Duty, so I can't rip on them too much. But heading into Uplink now, I gotta ask, Ink. You see the series 1-1. You mentioned a nice swing game there instead of it being 2-0 and kind of, more respawns for IGI to lose. They've shown they can hang with them in the slang, in the teamwork aspect of things. Now heading into Uplink, what's going to be your key to victory for either of these squads?
Obviously, come back Uplink, discipline is key. You know, especially when you're on the relay or trying to set up relays, I should say. And right now, of the 2 squads, I'd say Spirit Gaming probably has a little bit more discipline than the IGI eSports side. But with that being said, when you've got players like Sours, particularly with the sub, who can just slay, just go in, win massive gun battles, you know, it really does raise question marks. And that being said, I think map number 3 is just going to be like map number 1 and map number 2. Very, very close right until the very end. I don't see either side going insane. But with that being said, here in Europe, as you probably know, there is a little bit of a gap between the UK side's uplink game and some of the other European countries. And with that in mind, you'd say that IGI probably have an advantage. But that was IGI's very first map victory. How they respond to that. But another question for you. Look at this from a different perspective. If you're Spirit Gaming, you've beaten Vitality, you've drawn with Infuse, both near the top of the table, and now you're the team, or the first team, to have dropped a map against IGI. How does that affect your confidence?
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, we're going to be heading into this one momentarily. All the players are in the lobby. You saw a phone call there going down for the boys on IGI. But come back Uplink, a map for me that has a lot of split-second decisions that can absolutely drastically change the outcome of the game. And I say that because if your team spawns up green, you need to make that split-second decision to say, hey, do I overextend, kind of let them score, but then regain control around the glass area and try to fight for the drone off its reset? Or do I try to continue flooding back to yellow side in my base to try to lock it down? Or the setup you have with your guns, do you run the 2-2 setup, or do you try to heavy it off the start? Do you go with a little bit more of a bow presence on the map to try to lock down those long-range gunfights? Games 1 and 2 split. Game 1, Spirit Gaming, they were able to clutch up in the final hill. Game number 2, Solar Hardpoint, IGI did just that to match them. Now heading into our 2 uplink games, this first one was picked by IGI. They were able to win their first pick map of the entire season there on Solar. Can they continue the momentum in their favor? We will have to see. Ink, we're now in the game. Who do you want to watch off the start?
I think we've got to start with, I'm going to say Harley. And the reason I say Harley is he kind of dropped a 40 bomb out of nowhere, to be honest with you. I mean, in the previous game, it just like, honestly, I don't know what happened, because in the first hard point, we didn't really see all too much of him. And we saw him a couple times getting scrap time or winning a few big gun battles here and there. But in the last game, he just dropped numbers. So it'd be really interesting to see if he can actually build on that performance, or if Sours is going to take over a game. But currently on board with, actually jumping back on board with Harley, picking up an early 2-piece. And it looks like IGI have already got drone control. And if they play this right, this could be 2-0 after 20 seconds.
Oh, it's going to be just that.
Wow.
Already they're able to dunk it in. A flawless start from IGI.
Again.
You called it out. You said Harley. He did just that. 2-0 to start the game. 2 points already in his favor. And both teams starting with the 3 AR setup. Unfortunately, though, for the boys on Spirit Gaming, the gun battle's just not going in their favor, and after 40 seconds, it's already a 2-possession lead for IGI.
Well, 3-0 on the conventional bad side, as some people refer it, and that is a great start from IGI. Palooka, though, getting some glass control for Spirit Gaming, and that's desperately, that's what they're desperately in need, I should say, because that first start, it looks like they lost the first wave of gun battles, and after that, they could never recuperate. But Tojo currently on the drone, running towards his back patio area, but no, he's actually going to juke back round. No, he's not. He's going to juke again. Could he jump on top of this roof area? Yeah, he is. Should be a simple 1-pointer there. And it's 3-1, 2 points back in it. And this has been an aggressive start from these two sides.
Oh, fantastic route. He wound up playing it a little bit more slowly, so his teammate there in UFO could clean out green side and sandbags. Off the start, though, it's been IGI out to an early lead. They've regained drone control. All 4 players are up. They're pushing into glass. Great setup here for IGI. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Yeah, well, it looks like the stuns are going to go in through that glass window area, but Sowers, he's ready for that 15-second. Chucks it out. 15-second as 2 of his teammates have been taken down, so it looks like Sowers wants to win a few gun battles in and around this reset area, get some map control, or solidify that map control. But with that being said, gun battles still going down. Trades going down, I should say. I mean, Harley picking up another 2-piece here, currently 6 and 3. Get the 3rd kill. Oh, just falls short there, but 2 minutes in, 2 points in it. It's kind of a bit of a recurring theme here between these two sides.
Really, Spirit Gaming not doing the best job of locking down glass. Even here, Cambo's all the way in the opponent's base, not actually going to help his team at all.
No.
And Palooka's going to do a fantastic job of capitalizing on that questionable play from Cambo, getting the dunk in, tying up the game. And now Cambo's rotated all the way back to his base. Unfortunately for him, not a position again to stop the drone from going in. The 2-point dunk from UFO, and as we were just praising IGI for starting up the game very hot, it's kind of falling apart here in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, 1-pointer coming into play. No, just misses out. However, the drone is in a very dangerous position here, but Sowers has actually picked up the drone. But is he going to go for the wrap, or is he just going to launch it out? Or he's actually just launched it out there. He could have actually gone for the wraparound. Now Palooka's actually on that reset. That is not going to help IGI whatsoever. That being said, 2 down from Spirit Gaming here. Oh, 3 down now. Cambo wins a big gun battle there on Palooka. Sowers, what's he going to do this time? Is he going to go for the aggressive play? Tojo locking down this mid-map area. Drone's being taken down here. But it looks like drone is in glass, so it's in a fairly safe position, especially if...
Oh, wow. Tojo.
Well, that sums it up perfectly.
Putting his toes right on that player, Tojo. Some massive plays and the 1-point toss. A 3-point lead yet again, and with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, they're doing all they can to capitalize on the preferred side of comeback uplink, obviously. Earlier in AW, it was a much more preferred siding to try to score on that blue side of things. But as time has gone on, the spawns have changed a little bit. Players have learned to play it a little bit better.
Wow.
This map has become much more even. Right there, very scrappy back and forth play, just trying to get the drone move forward. But again, another great use of the melee system here in AW for Spirit Gaming to stop the drone, and they go for the 1-point toss and connect.
Yeah, it was very unlucky, though. Harley actually managed to get that drone out of his hand, and I thought that would actually be at least a 1-point play from IGI, but it looks like Tojo was actually going to go for the wraparound. No, he's going to juke it back through glass, man. I suppose if you're 4 points up, you don't really want to risk a wraparound, because as soon as you drop that drone, or if you drop that drone, you're essentially conceding 2 points instantaneously. But that being said, Tank currently got glass control for IGI. Oh, wins a big gun battle there on Sammy. Harley there as well. SG have got, they've actually been taken down here, but IGI not making the most of this.
That was perfectly played by Harley, fully expecting that overextend that I was talking about prior to this game starting up. One of those split-second decisions that looks like it's going to buy his team the chance at a couple points. Unfortunately, though, they win the gun battles in the opponent's base, and because of how small the map comeback is, there's the 1-point toss from Tajor. 8-3 lead Spirit Gaming with now 8 straight points after, well, IGI went up 3 points in the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit disappointing if you're an IGI fan, because you think, wow, my team's just started off very, very hot, very, very aggressive. They were set up 4 relays, and then all of a sudden, they just kind of collapsed a little bit. But with that being said, 5 points down after the supposed, or being on the supposed bad side. That's not bad at all. I mean, they can definitely mount a comeback here. Palooka, 5 and 12. Looks like he's starting to struggle in that slaying department. And then you compare that to Cambo. You know, he's actually having a good game when it comes to the slaying department, which is the first time we've seen that. So the foundations are there.
I got to ask you, because I obviously don't get to see as much of these two teams. Is it normal for them to have a player who really just struggles in the start of a game and has to try to bounce back? So far, really, through every respawn, there's been just one player per team who's played below average or just not up to par. Is that something you see often from these EU squads, or do you think it's just kind of first game of the day, they're getting warmed up, they're still not fully 100% set on the stakes?
No, to be honest with you, I see this an awful lot. There's always one player which kind of, not like a dedicated OBJ, but they're focused so much on the points. They're focused so much on whether it be the hard point, whether it be the uplink portal. You know, they kind of forget to get kills. And when I say forget to get kills, I mean they're so busy trying to get that OBJ role sorted, they don't actually play for kills themselves. They let their teammates take care of it. But, you know, I can only speak of what I've seen from these two sides today, but you know, I agree with you. There's always one player which seems to be struggling at the bottom. But with that being said, big one-pointer there for IGI. Cambo also en route to get a dunk. Going to use that stun grenade, but is he going to juke through this building? No, he's not. He needs to slide, double jump here, and then he's going to have a dunk. He stunned himself, has he? No, just gets over the wall there.
Style
4 points in it now.
Style points. He wanted to make it a little bit more intense there, stunning himself. But 10-6, 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
You can see Cambo doing all he can to clear out the opponent's base. Unfortunately, though, not able to connect with those final shots. Should be Tajor putting that one in. Another smart one-point play. He's done it all game long, not getting greedy. It pays off for him there, forcing the 3-possession game now, and they continue to rally the drone in towards yellow. Sammy with another opportunity to score.
Oh, big kill there from Harley. Last ditch, big two-piece there from Harley. Now the wraparound is on for IGI. Tank pushing through this sandbags area. And is he going to go through it? Is he going to go on top of it? No, he's actually going to go to the left of it. Oh, he's just hit a stun grenade. Jump, double. Oh, just about hits a dunk there. 3 points in it with 3 minutes remaining. Once again, this could go either way.
He's actually rocking EMPs, Inc. So it was utilize that to slow down the movement from the opposing players.
Yeah.
They're shutting down their exosuit. You can see they were not able to challenge and contest those points.
Harley
going in. The spawn's coming from green. He's got help from bottom mid. Harley's going to be able to dunk this one in, and the 5-point lead has been cut down to just a 1-point lead for Spirit Gaming with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
Big 2 dunks there. And it's all down to Harley, to be honest with you, winning crucial last-ditch gun battles.
Oh, Sowers.
Teabag in there from Sowers. Hostility in this relegation battle. However, looks like Tojo's going to try and win a gun battle. Oh, wow, actually he gets a punch. That's a bit of a weird one. That was a stomp at first, but no, apparently the feed has told us, but that's not the case. But 1 point in it, and right now, if you're in Spirit Gaming shoes, you are feeling the pressure. You're thinking, right, they are mounting a comeback. But with that being said, pass has been made, should be a dunk. Just about gets it, 13-10. The lead is restored to around 3.
Beautifully done there from the boys on Spirit Gaming, realizing that they had the flank coming in from green. Instead of trying to force that player to get kills, they just went for the objective play style, got the pass in. Now they're able to chain together 3 uncontested points. They've regained a 4-point lead, but Inc, if the rest of the game is anything to what we've seen so far, you fully expect IGI to begin to bounce back in the next minute.
100%. Well, obviously, they are starting to run out of time now, so they definitely need to set up that relay as soon as possible. But Tojo, I know where he was going. He was going straight into glass to launch out for 15. It's written all over him. There we go. Sammy's going to take off where he left off. But that's all Spirit Gaming need to do now for the last 90 seconds. Keep throwing out for 15, waste of time. And do you know what? Even if IGI do get 1 dunk, you're going to waste so much time. The chances are they're actually not going to have time to get a 2nd dunk, especially if your teammate's going to be winning crucial gun battles like Palooka and Sammy is. But several minutes remaining. Sammy now on the drone. This is surely done and dusted.
And this is what I love to see from Spirit Gaming. They're playing their style. They're not getting crazy and losing their composure in the final minute of the game. They're continuing to work as a team, and they pile on the points yet again. Another 1-point toss going in. It's now make or break from the boys on IGI. Once again, the series is all tied up 1-1, but Spirit Gaming winning the gun battles on every front. Oh, this game is done.
100%. Well, I don't think there's enough time left, but with that being said, Palooka wins a massive gun battle there on Sowers, just outside that mid area on comeback. But with that being said, Harley's now picking up the drone as well. Harley's going to try and go for the wraparound. Oh, just escapes with his life there. 4 up here for IGI, 1 up for Spirit Gaming, all down from Spirit Gaming. This is going to be a dunk. 15-12, 30 seconds remaining. This would be absolutely insane if we saw this. Have they got enough time, though?
Obviously, Cambo doing all he can to stay alive in sandbags. The flank coming in from one player on Spirit Gaming. That's going to be Sammy. The drone still in the hands of Harley. He's got 2 players to beat. He's able to dunk it in. 15-14, 10 seconds left. But Sammy's flank that he's worked on for the last 40 seconds pays off completely. There's not enough time. It's all over. You saw there, they knew there's no way they're stopping that. They're all spawning up in green. Instead of trying to force engagements and win them, Sammy decides to flank all the way around through yellow. He sat bottom middle. You saw as the final player from IGI went to grab the drone, he was caught completely off guard. And that right there, Inc, is a perfect example of what I spoke about prior to that game starting. A split-second decision that won his team the game. Spirit Gaming now up 2-1 in this 6-game series.
The thing is we're seeing a pattern here. Every single map is going right down to the wire. First hard point, 18 seconds. Second hard point, 12 seconds. Uplink, 1 point. Yeah. Unbelievable from these two sides. And although the map count is 2-1 in favor of IGI, if this carries on, we're going to see a draw. We're going to see the first draw of the... I mean, the first game will be a draw, and that's absolutely insane. That's the beauty of the Super 6 series, which means we're going to go all the way to map number 6 with something to play for. And right now, IGI, they desperately need to hold on. They need to win the next map, because if they lose the next map, in my view, they're relegated.
Now, let's take a look at how... If IGI wins this series, let's see how it affects the points. Obviously, IGI, 0 points so far in the league. They're in dead last. But then you have Hyper Games, who's in 7th place with only 3 points. So if IGI wins this series, they're now tied up 3-3 and have a chance to begin to kind of mount the comeback here and try to see if they can make it out of the bottom 2 slots or just the bottom slot in general. If Spirit Gaming loses this series, they're now stuck at 4 points. They're now only up by 1 over IGI. So if they continue to kind of perform below average for the rest of this weekend, then they find themselves in the awkward spot of now being relegated. But guys, do not go anywhere. We're only halfway through this 6-game series. Spirit Gaming currently up 2-1. We'll see you after this quick commercial break.
Wait, you're not on it? I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Where are you at?
Interesting choice it would be, but he doesn't pull it. Gets it. There's one. Oh, it's going to be close.
He gets the second one. Clay, the MVP with the 2 snipes. All smiles, high fives coming from Attach. The birthday boy able to pick it up.
Wow, look at that, the accuracy there. And I mean, you know, in those close quarters.
They didn't really have full control. They were defending the flank over and over again. And another thing with doing it, eventually you will get overwhelmed in that position. The other thing, we'll be able to eventually break it, maybe get a 2 meter touch. Oh my goodness. There's the 4-2. Can he pick it up? He gets it. Oh my
The entire team at TCM taken out in a matter of seconds. Attach, man, he is young, he is still developing as a player, but God, he is disgusting.
Pretty happy overall, and we've seen also, brief question, sorry to rant so long, but when IGI won their first map, we had a look at their booth. There was no volume, no movement. They were just sitting around like, if you were in their shoes, like, does that seem a little bit weird?
I mean, looking at it for me, I would have thought they were the best team in the world who almost just dropped the map and they were upset at themselves that they almost just lost the game. They're winning that one. Yeah, I would have been hyped. I would have been in the booth. I would have been throwing my water around. They finally get a map win after 25 games. Yeah. Apparently not. They're just kind of trying to keep it like it's any other match, I guess. But
what do you think,
no hype at all.
Do you think they care? Because judging by their reaction, as you said, it was just like they were sat there. It was almost like they were playing an online game of ranked play. Just like, oh yeah, we won, cool. We don't really get anything for it. And you just think, well, at the moment, there are 9 points to play for this weekend. You're currently on 0. If you win this first game, you go joint bottom essentially with Hyper Games. Spirit Gaming, as you said earlier, only 1 point above them. Spirit Gaming have got some difficult fixtures this weekend, so all it takes essentially is one upset from IGI. But it looks like they don't believe in themselves that they can escape relegation. And although it sounds a little bit weird me sat here saying, well, no, they can do it. And some people said, you know, well, you've got to be joking here. They can. They've shown that they can perform.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you're never going to be able to go anywhere if you're sat there at LAN in a booth where you've just won them out, just going...
Yeah,
we saw phone calls for crying out loud.
That was good. I guess we did it, and someone's like ordering a pizza or something in the booth. So
yeah,
we'll see where it goes. The players are just joining up into the lobby. So far in the series, we've seen 3 of the 4 respawns be played.
Yeah.
Going in to our final respawn game mode, IGI for me, it's a must-win. They don't want to go into the S&Ds down 3-1 and have to clutch up 2 straight games. Do you think they have what it takes here to win this next uplink? It's going to be BioLab. What do they need to adapt to be able to sneak this final respawn game?
Well, first off, they need this map because obviously if they lose this map, the most they can get from the series is a draw, which is only 1 point. I'm sorry, but you're not going to survive on just 1 point in my view. Spirit Gaming, this is your... when I say Spirit Gaming, I mean beating Spirit Gaming is your best opportunity to escape relegation because you essentially limit the team which is just outside the relegation zone. If you give them anything, they're probably just going to escape with, well, scratching and clawing, so to speak. But when you ask, what have they got to change? Well, to be honest with you, you spoke about counting at the end there. I think they're guilty of assuming where some players will be sometimes. I think they're kind of think, right, well, they should be over there. They should be over there. But then, actually, Spirit Gaming, they're making some smart plays. UFO, you've said that, you know, maybe it was a slightly obvious play, but in some ways, him pushing out from green spawn, straight through mid-map, flanking the way he did, with little time remaining. I mean, if there was only, you know, if it was 1 minute into the game, it wouldn't be a good play. Yep. You know, it would be anticipated. But because there was only 10 seconds left, the fact he had the audacity to do that, because there's a risk. If you were to push through there and a player from IGI picks up the drone, it's essentially 4v3 there. IGI have just got the Spirit Gaming base loaded. But with that being said, it just takes those moments. And right now, it looks like IGI don't have those moments of just intelligent play where they go, right, let's try this right now. It looks like, you spoke about shot callers in the last game. I don't know who's calling the shots for IGI because it looks like there's not a lot of... how can I describe this? I don't know how I can describe this. That's the answer.
It's all right. I got the point you're trying to make. I think to look out for in that one was it kind of looked like IGI got tunnel vision at the end of it. The only thing we need is a drone.
Portal.
Just get the drone. Get the drone in the portal. That's it. And they kind of forgot that... You could still be killed in a game in Call of Duty. You could still, your character will die and go on respawn. So obviously they're not going in their favor. BioLab uplink coming up next. The ARs, very important. At that top blue and top purple area, we've seen players like Swanee who can lock down the blue crates area right outside on snow and just completely control that area for almost the entirety of the game. Actually, a North American player that comes to mind that's fantastic at breaking that setup for me is Burnsoff. He's fantastic at utilizing that sub, pushing out of purple, double jumping onto blue, and killing the player in that power position. You're going to need to see the players on these 2 squads be able to make those different plays happen if they want to lock down that drone area. Also, BioLab, another map where you can wind up overextending, pushing from the opposing team's base to try to lock down that drone area. We saw it time and time again from Spirit Gaming when they knew exactly when to push for it, when not to. Someone I need to point out from that last game had to be Harley. From, obviously, IGI. You saw at that one point when Spirit Gaming tried to overextend, he knew exactly where they were coming from. He picked up that 2-piece. That's how they were able to begin to chain together some points. There, though, on your screen, IGI now beginning to return to the booth. No phone calls at the moment, it appears. Game number 4 should be underway momentarily.
Yeah, well, obviously, heading into BioLab uplink, you're IGI, you're going to be under pressure. And it's about how you can deal with that pressure. And obviously, IGI currently bottom of the table, so not a lot is expected of them. But with that being said, you need to fight to the very end. And one thing I want to say very briefly is that I've been pretty impressed by Sowers and Harley in particular, those 2 players. It looks like they're interchanging their roles very nicely with regards to that Slayer role of, you know, being the player which just runs around and just takes out the opposition, gives your team that control. But it seems like at the moment, the other 2 players in the form of Cambo and Tank, looks like they're a little bit hot and cold, but maps are on your screen. Up next, BioLab uplink. And if it's anything like the 3 maps we've just seen, you guys, and we actually, are in for a hell of a treat. But after that, Skyrise S&D. Just talk us briefly through that. You've seen Skyrise S&D an awful lot.
Everything explodes. You know, you thought there was a lot of things that explode on this map with the canisters. No,
Yeah.
literally everything explodes on Skyrise. I think one of the best matches we saw in the MLG Pro League side of things was Epsilon versus TCM, the first time that Epsilon won a series prior to the reset happening. In the final moments of the last 2 rounds, there was 2 team kills from the boys on TCM that really kind of shot them in the foot. Half of it was coming in from things that exploded on the map, but on the start of this one, it's going to be Palooka from Spirit Gaming on the flank. They have no idea he's here.
Well, that was a very risky play from Palooka, and not one you often see, to be honest with you. Making a full flank, literally off respawn, is very, very risky. That's, oh, that being said, UFO currently on this drone, in around this hut area, using those stun grenades, pushing through purple now, through bio here, and it looks like Spirit Gaming have got complete bio control. But UFO can go for a one-pointer here if he lines it up correctly, but it looks like he's not sure what to do. It looks like he's panicking, if anything, and right now, the more time you waste on the drone, the more trouble you're in, and right now, he's the only player up for Spirit Gaming.
Something to point out, actually, off that start was typically you have someone challenge the player pushing from the top green area. They'll sit in Eskies with an AR, and they'll contest a player like Palooka to give his team the idea that, hey, there's someone here. Even if I lose this gun battle, we know to watch the flank. That time around, though, IGI not setting anyone to Eskies wound up not really paying off for him. Thankfully for them, they stopped any aggression coming out of the boys on SG because they regained middle map control. After the first minute and 20 seconds, though, nobody has yet to score. Actually, as I say it, Harley gets the 1-point play in.
Well, 3 down for Spirit Gaming. We've just spoken about communication. 3 down for Spirit Gaming. You were in prime position to get a dunk there. That should have been 2 points in my view. I mean, yeah, he was under some pressure from behind, but his teammate was there ready to trade it out. But that being said, it looks like the relay is still on. Tank currently on the drone. Sowers in around this blue cut area on a 4 streak here, but finally taken down. No, he's actually taken down on a 5 streak. Palooka, though, pushing into blue area, picks up a simple kill there on combo. Harley taken out Palooka and trading it up, but that being said, only 1-0. And at the moment...
Harley!
Oh, wow, okay. No.
Just went massive for his team. The 3-piece. He's on a 4 streak, getting the dunk in. Not only is he double positive, he's scored every point for his team so far, and his accuracy is on point. That is the start to game number 4 you wanted to see from IGI if they want any chance of tying up this series.
The thing is though, IGI had drone control there, so the pass actually could have been made to Harley, and Harley could have just even gone for a 1-pointer there. Obviously, you can hit a 1-pointer from top of that green crane area, but, you know, once again, maybe a couple question marks. That being said, they are 3-0 in the lead here, so Spirit Gaming going to need to mount a slight fight back here after 2.5 minutes. Obviously, less points will go down compared to comeback uplink, but Biolab uplink, all about those tactics, all about that awareness. But once again, UFO throwing out
that should be, no, that's going to bounce right back into the map. I saw exactly how he tossed that one.
Oh, wow.
He hit it off the top rock, and that actually was, that happened to, I believe it was Prophecy back at COD Champs in one of the final moments of the game. They had the opposing team bounce it off that top rock. They were able to grab it and dunk it in to force the win or the overtime there. It looked like it was almost a setup play, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
From the boys on SG, they had someone who was in mid-bio. He could have jumped out and grabbed it and tossed it in. Unfortunately, not able to do it yet. Again, IGI continuing to hold their opponents scoreless.
100%. Well, Sowers winning a big gun battle and by taken out by UFO. Problem with UFO is it looks like he's so orientated with that flank. We saw him just a minute ago underneath the opposition portal, just waiting for that pass. And sometimes that can mean you're a little bit 3v4 in some situations. Tank, though, has got the 1-pointer option potentially.
Coming quickly from Sowers.
Yeah, Sowers making that full flank here. Winning against Gun. Oh. Okay, I can't even get my words out. Thought he was going to win that gun battle against Tojo, but he's not. But Harley on the drone again. The player in question. Oh, has a drone? No, drone is there. 5-0.
5-0. All 5 points going to Harley. An MVP-like performance here in game number 4. He's 15-6. I've got to stay with him off the respawn. The drone for the boys on Spirit Gaming hasn't really got past the 50-yard line as of yet. Tajor with the best chance of scoring for his team. But yet again, he gets greedy and is unable to connect with a point.
Yeah, but is this going to work out for him? Oh, no, he's missed!
Oh,
no, Palooka! Oh my god, you've just missed an absolute sitter, my friend. But that being said, it looks like UFO has actually picked up the drone from the reset.
Sitter?
A sitter, yeah. It was literally in front of you. It was crazy. That's what you use in football. If a goal is wide open and you miss it, you've missed a sitter.
They've done it again. He missed the sitter.
Oh no!
He missed the sitter.
Sitters! Anyway, Tojo is actually back on the drone. Can Spirit Gaming get it right? The 3rd attempt here. Tojo launching it over by. We've seen this from them before in this game. We're going to see if it works out better from this time, although the wrap could be on. So risky play from Spirit Gaming, but no, Palooka playing that reset, but it looks like they're content being 5-0 down after round 1, which is slightly different, to say the least.
Yeah, obviously, spawning in favor of IGI through that first half, and Harley has 22 kills. He's got more kills than the rest of his team combined at the end of the first half. Cambo is 3-11. I would have had no idea or inkling that he was struggling that bad to start off game number 4 there. Some pounds in the booth, some smiles there from the boys on IGI. Your final kill cam coming from Tajor. He's 9-10 to start off this game, slaying slightly in favor of the boys on IGI, and that's really just due to Harley.
Well, to be honest, this is what we spoke about before this map even started. Harley and Sowers in particular just playing very well, and the other two slightly lagging behind. And once again, that's what we're seeing here. Harley, 22-9, all 5 points to his name. He's essentially doing everything. Cambo, though, on the flank already through this bio area. Should pick up at least 2 kills here. First kill there, down in purple. Second kill on outskirts, is it? Oh, he's missing shots. Oh, finally gets Tojo, trades it up, though, but early advantage goes to IGI again.
Beautiful stuff on the flank for IGI, taking a play out of Palooka's book. 4.5 minutes remaining. Harley continuing to win gunfights he really shouldn't have a chance in. You can see IGI more than happy to play this one slowly. They want to grab control of purple before they try to force the drone anywhere. Love the decisions being made from IGI. Much better communication here in game number 4.
100%. Well, Cambo 7-12 now. Started this round a little bit better. He was 3-11, so a bit of a fight back from him on a personal level. Tank using that AR, going to try and get some drone control. Gumball going down. Oh, wins it against UFO there. And it looks like a player is pushing from outskirts of purple yet again as well. But Tank pretty much single-handedly locking down this reset right now. Is he going to win this gun battle as well? No, just... yeah.
This is the positioning that I was talking about prior to the game starting up. You can see how much of a power spot it is for Tank, because he can utilize the different cover. He can decide what gunfights he wants to challenge versus which ones he wants to let his teammates clear out. Unfortunately for him, though, they did miss that toss in. The drone sitting underneath the blue player's portal. They're just going to wrap this one through green, going to be up to IGI to stop the aggression.
Yeah, spawns actually went in their favor as well, so IGI in a lot of trouble here. Flank here from Cambo. Cambo, oh wow, does enough to actually get the drone out as well. Big, big plays from Cambo. We've said it throughout this game. He was 3-11, mounting a fight back, not just kills-wise, but also play-wise as well. Harley taken out on top purple there, 27-14. Sowers 13-13. Is he going to explode those canisters, give him some advantage? Doesn't need to. Takes out Sammy there, but right now, it's all IGI, it has to be said. 3 minutes remaining, and it looks like Spirit Gaming have got it all to do.
And this is where you gotta mention, kills aren't everything. Cambo, yes, he might be close to double negative, but just single-handedly stopped 2 points from going in. Won the one gun engagement he needed to on that flank. Now IGI locking down the blue area. There you can see at the backside of the map is Harley in that power position with the AR. I don't see how IGI let up any points anytime soon.
Well, Harley now dropped a 30 bomb, 30-14 over a 2 KD from the main man himself. Cambo, they're currently on the drone. Gumball coming up in this blue hut area. Is he going to get this punch? Doesn't need to. His teammate is covering him, but he has been stunned up here. So, not sure what he's doing.
He's looking at the wall. He's got his teammate there for protection. Just goes for the 1-point toss to further advance the drone.
He's passed it to Sowers.
He's got Sowers there.
Drone. Oh, no. UFO takes him out. Sowers would have actually had extra health. The wraparound is on, though. Harley, it's down to you again, and he goes big again. Absolutely crazy. Palooka, though, trades it out, but has Harley bought his team enough time? It looks like he has 1 point coming in, and it's missed. It's missed again here.
Goodness.
Sloppy play here from Spirit Gaming, but the wraparound is on. This should be a dunk, and if it's not, something is wrong.
This was Spirit Gaming's map that they picked, and so far, I would have thought the exact opposite. Another 1-point play going in from IGI. That's 6 uncontested points. A double positive performance out of Harley. Ridiculous stuff right here in game number 4. What a series we have on our hands, Inc.
No other player in this lobby has dropped 20 kills yet, and Harley is all the way out on 33. absolutely insane individual performance. And right now, he's covering his teammates so well. He's not just getting irrelevant kills. He's
35.
There we go, on a 4 streak. Is he going to get another Bloodthirst here? Tojo, last player alive here.
36.
He gets a game.
Jesus.
It's crazy. Oh, wow, Beluga. Last ditch 2-piece there. And it looks like Tank isn't even going to push in. Cambo gets taken out there by, I think that was actually Sammy. But Tojo is going to have to wrap around. Very risky here.
That could be the game-saving moment from Palooka. His team still has a chance to come back in this one. Instead of it being an 8-0 lead, it's still 6-0. There is enough time to do it, but in this final 40 seconds, Spirit Gaming has to play this one absolutely flawlessly. But Cambo gonna go for the dunk.
What's he doing? Okay, there we go. Got there in the end.
Right, that could have been horrible and catastrophic.
He's showboating. Showboating for the stream.
But with 28 seconds remaining, IGI going to win their second map of this entire Gfinity Pro League. This one, doing it with a little bit more ease. They got early control of the game and they didn't look back. Finally, some points on the board for Spirit Gaming, but it is too little too late. This one is all done and dusted.
Yes.
Did I do it right?
Yes,
Let's go.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, just look at Harley right now, though.
I'm learning.
1 kill away from a 40 bomb on Biolab uplink. How often do you see that?
Sick stuff.
Sick
stuff from Harley, dominating in the AR department all game long. There's your final kill. Yet again, no clue what just happened in that kill cam, but I don't even care.
There we go.
IGI tying up the series 2-2.
No celebrations.
Heading into these final 2 games, back-to-back search and destroy. So much on the line. An opportunity for IGI to get their first points of the Pro League Season 2 here for Gfinity. Yeah. Ridiculous stuff. So much on the line for these 2 teams. And relegation as well.
Yeah. Well, what I want to talk about very, very briefly during this slight intermission, if you will, is the fact that out of every game we've casted today in this series, that was the first game where one team has dominated the other.
Yep.
And it was actually IGI dominating Spirit, which most people would have said before this game even started, that's not going to happen. You're not going to see IGI even win a map. But they dominated that Biolab uplink. They had total reset control pretty much the whole game. They were knowing when to go for 1-pointers, knowing when to hit those dunks, knowing when to wrap around. They looked like their game was absolutely on point. And although Harley did drop 39 kills, had 5 uplinks to his name as well, it wasn't just the individual showing. I mean, the individual showing definitely helped them. But just look at those statistics there. 1.95 KD. Unbelievable.
Look at his score. Almost 5,000 score when second was 2,600.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was an unbelievable individual performance, but his teammates were helping out. Tank, reset control with that AR. He wasn't getting many kills because Harley was taking most of them, but he was doing the dirty work. And obviously Cambo, 17-22, didn't get a lot of kills, but he was getting those crucial kills. I think he got a last-ditch 2-piece with a sub point blank. Unbelievable. He also had a couple flank plays, which were ridiculous. Sours, pretty quiet in that game, but once again, consistent from the Danger Man. And right now, headed into S&D, who has the momentum?
Honestly, this one could go either way. I'm scared to call it because from what I've seen from these 2 teams, there's moments when Spirit Gaming just look a tier above the boys on IGI, where they're working better as a squad. They were doing a much better job on certain maps of breaking those hard points in much cleaner ways and locking them down. But then on the other side of things, some of these individual performances we've seen from IGI kind of make you nervous. It reminds me a lot of Optic Nation in how Mochilla will be that player who in every game will just drop massive numbers for his team and kind of be the leading front to victory for that squad. Well, now for IGI, we've seen Sours go off. We've seen Harley have one of the best games he's probably had in the entire EU Pro League so far. What are we going to get in this game number 5? Obviously, Search and Destroy up next. It's going to be on Skyrise. And I got to ask, Ink, because you've seen these teams a little bit more than I have, do you know of any Moors play we've seen from either of these squads, or do you think they're just going to run typical AR and subs off the start of these Skyrise rounds?
I think we're going to see some Moors plays, but truthfully, I haven't casted these guys an awful lot, so I'm not sure who is going to be the preferred player to watch with regards to those sniper picks. But Skyrise S&D, now DLC maps offer something completely different, especially to these EU sides. This is the first competition where DLC maps have been included, if memory serves me correctly. I may be wrong, I do apologize if I am. But Skyrise coming in, it not only tests their ability as a squad, their gun skill, etc., it tests how they've researched these maps. It really does test, you know, how they're going to approach both of the bomb sites? Is there a preferred bomb site? You know, these teams need to research this. They need to research how to play an individual map. And that tends to only come with experience, but the EU teams don't have a lot of that experience to go off of. They've only played Skyrise S&D once throughout this EU Pro Leagues. This is the second time they've played it, but Moore's plays coming out from you for, oh, almost has a two-piece that Harley has been spotted, but no, slight inaccuracy there. But heading into this, it looks like Spirit Gaming, if I look at the previous results, they have won a fair few of their S&Ds. But with that being said, with how IGI are playing right now, and in particular Harley, I wouldn't put it past IGI to cause a little bit of an upset here.
Obviously, IGI yet to win a Search and Destroy game so far in the EU Gfinity Pro League. Sammy picking up first blood for his team. The bomb is yet to be planted. And as I mentioned it, everything explodes on this map. Watch out for the canister kills in this game. Nades just decide to blow things up in all different areas. Another player spotted from Sammy, gets a second kill of the round, loses that gunfight versus Cambo. That's going to leave Tajor in the 1-on-2. Let's see if he can make the impossible happen.
Yeah, well, he was in a little bit of a tight predicament there. Actually managed to get away here, but is he going to re-challenge this area? He's 1v2. Oh, no, he's being spotted out. Oh, wow, I thought he was going to eat those bullets and get that kill there, but 1-0 to IGI. Decent start, especially considering IGI were actually on the receiving end of first blood. So to kind of calm themselves down, saying, right, we just lost a player. Cambo actually picking up a two-piece in the middle of that round. Harley, Danger Man again, playing out of his mind, also picks up a two-piece in round 1 of Skyrise.
The momentum has not slowed down for IGI, able to secure that first round here on Skyrise Search and Destroy. Harley immediately flanked from that outskirts area when he dropped down on that bottom side of the map, was able to catch the players completely off guard on Spirit Gaming, but the push towards the B-bomb site already starts. Palooka picks up first blood.
Traded up, though, by Sowers. Harley picking
There's
up
an explosion!
Explosions! Yes, that's what we want to see. Tank.
It's like a Michael Bay movie.
The drama going down. Anyway, Tojo left in a clutch position again here. 1v3 coming in right now, and he's gonna have to get a world-class play, it has to be said. He's in the middle of the map right now, not in a great position at all, to be honest, but 2-0 to IGI, back-to-back rounds. Now they're starting to smile. Now they're starting to get a little bit happy and excited. It's the first time I've seen the guy on the end actually smile. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is, but be happy, my friend. You're winning.
Honestly, I'd probably lean it more towards Tank.
It would be fitting. It would be fitting.
We were saying he looks like he hits the gym. He looks like he can put up much more weight than I can ever imagine lifting. But at the start of this one, it's been IGI so far, really, through the last 2 games from what we've seen here, Inc. Harley now beginning to rotate towards this middle office area, tries to put the shot down there on Sammy, not able to connect. So far, I don't believe there's been a single sniper kill. At the start of this game, first blood going over to Cambo.
Yeah, there's been 1 sniper kill, and that was in round 1, but that was in the middle of everything going down. Gunbow coming down, Palooka just spots Cambo's knee there, and it looks like he gets a kill up close and personal with that sub. Harley, man, or the Danger Man, I should say, currently 3-0, flawless. But Palooka picks up the first kill there on Sowers. Is he going to pick up the second kill? Oh, he's going to avoid those bullets. Oh, wow. Shots going down. Both players escape with their life, though. And Harley actually takes out Sammy from behind. Harley gets another kill again. The thing is there was a lot of hype about Sowers before this game started. Everyone was saying Sowers perhaps settling for a slightly, underappreciated side. But right now, Harley, he doesn't look out of a place himself.
That was sick. Basically, the mindset from Harley was he had that pistol in hand. He picked up the first kill.
Yeah.
And to play mind games with his opponent, he immediately dashed, picked up the sub of the player he just picked up the kill on, and then went back and challenged the gunfight. And you could see there the player on Spirit Gaming pushed out from behind cover, thinking it should be a pretty easy one to win against that PDW machine pistol. Well, catching him off guard there with the sub and another first blood from Tank. They've already got the 4-2 number advantage. Spirit Gaming completely falling apart here in game number 5.
It looks like they don't know what they're doing in some ways with regards to, they seem very individual oriented. They're pushing things just by themselves. They're not moving to a bomb site as a cohesive unit, although they've got 2 players at this B site at the moment. They're in a very, very strange, not strange position, in a very weak position, I should say. And Cambo going on the full flank, if I'm not mistaken here. So, and it looks like Gunbow coming down against Tojo. Harley's not going to be losing a Gunbow anytime soon. 6-0. Oh, as soon as I say that. 6-0 though. What a great start it is from him. But Tank also on the 3 streak here. So Palooka, can he get this 1v3?
He definitely spotted the player pushing down towards this A street. Gets shot in the back. 4-0 lead for IGI. continuing to pull away. This is exactly what they needed to do. They know they do not want to be relegated from the Gfinity Pro League season. And well, 4-0 lead, they're making sure that they're giving themselves the best chance of mounting the incredible season comeback so far this weekend.
Well, right now, obviously, I said before this game, I fancy IGI to cause a bit of an upset, and everyone was like, what? Well, what's wrong with you? But this is what they can do, and they're showing, you know, their capabilities, and they don't look out of place here at LAN. Problem is online, they have struggled, but with that being said, Tank 4-1 at the moment. And he's going to be peeking through
Another
defense
first
area.
blood. Another.
Wow, it's crazy. Traded up, though, by Palooka. And actually, Yufa's going to get taken out. Sniper pick coming down from Harley. Is it going to be a third one? Palooka. Oh, third one. There we go.
I'm sorry for like switching off Harley for a second. The shots he's hitting at the moment continuing to help his team pull away. A 1v3. Tajor last alive. Harley next to one of those canisters that explodes. Wouldn't be surprised if that's how he meets his demise in this round. Tajor hasn't been spotted as of yet. Gonna swap over to him to see how he plays these final 30 seconds.
Well, Tajor currently on a bagel, as I call it. Most people refer to it as a donut. 0-4 here. Not a single kill, but he's been in 3 1v3 situations already, or 3 clutch situations, say. Round 1 was 1v2. The next 2 rounds were 1v3. He's taken out a game.
It's donut. It's donut.
5-0. Yeah, but I like bagels.
Nah, but see, I like bagels too. Just look at me. I like both donuts and bagels, but oh man, he just dropped the bagel. You gotta leave the breading for breadstick, which is when you drop one kill.
Very true, very true.
You drop the donut, it just sounds so much better, the DTD. 5-0 lead for IGI, another fan of utilizing the same letter in a 1 and 3rd letter pattern. Here we see they are 1 round away. I'm gonna watch Harley to see if he can pick up first blood for his team.
This has been dominant again from IGI. Dominant. And it's very, very strange to see, but Harley again carrying his team. But the thing is, his teammates are doing work as well. Tank 5-1 also. Harley again 9-1, almost on double figures. And if his team wins 6-0 and he drops double figures, you don't see that very often as well. So Harley right now is breaking all the stereotypes, as we said. All the things which we're used to seeing, Harley is breaking them. And he's saying, no, I'm going to bring something different to the table. But right now, 4v2 situation. Palooka playing it very sneakily through that scaffolding area, but it looks like he's been pushing in towards his back office.
He just accidentally boosted. And Tank, I believe Tank heard him momentarily there. You saw they began to look towards the back side of the map. The flank coming in from Palooka. Knows one player's right next to him. Gets the kill on Harley. Spots the second. Wins that gunfight as well. Now in the 1-on-2. If he wants to keep his team alive in this game, he's got to pick up the ace or hope that, well, Cambo and Sowers both just completely jump off the map.
Every single round, apart from one, which is in a 1v2, a player from Spirit Gaming has been left in a 1v3. 3 players alive every round, essentially, from IGI. They are playing so, so well. That's map done.
6-0.
Wow.
IGI finding themselves in form. I don't know if they boot camp before this event. I don't know what they did. But they must have had a stern talking to because they've turned things around. Harley is playing out of his mind. 9-2 that game. He went, what, 40-19 the game prior?
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous stuff. That's going to do it for game number 5. That entire S&D was 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, I don't know what to say now. Obviously, I predicted IGI could actually get the victory, but one thing I need to emphasize here, and I think everyone will agree with, is that if this finishes as a draw, both teams are at risk of being relegated here because, in my view, both teams needed those 3 points because the rest of the fixtures for Spirit Gaming aren't looking too tasty. They're up against some of the top sides in this league. Same for IGI, to be honest with you. So both teams in desperate need of all 3 points. So neither side really wants a single point.
And I think this is their only match of the day for Spirit and IGI. I think they both play their last 2 matches tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have to sit on a loss the entire day, feel down on yourself. Later on today, actually, a big match that's going to go down for the really fate of these 2 teams is Hyper Games versus Epsilon EU.
Yeah.
That's one that I think a lot of people are leaning towards Epsilon to take, but if Hyper Games can pull off the upset, they'll find themselves moving out of a relegation-type predicament. IGI still on your screen. You've got some smiles there. They were able to take the series lead, now up 3-2. They forced Tajor and UFO to drop double donuts that game, a combined 0-12. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a recipe for victory.
It's almost 007, but there weren't enough rounds actually to drop 007. Ooh. So if it would have gone one more round, chances are we would have seen a couple James Bonds appear at LAN. But with that being said, I'm going to ask you a question. Now, that was a DLC map, right? So it's different to the conventional S&D style, which we're used to in A-Dub. With that in mind, Riot S&D, you know, do you see Spirit Gaming actually mounting a fight back? Because that was dominance from IGI. And do you think that was dominance based on knowing how to play S&D, or their S&D plays, or the ability to win crucial gun battles? Or do you think it was just because Spirit Gaming didn't do their homework on Skyrise? And do you think this is going to be a lot closer?
Something I'm going to be watching, and really to answer your question, is Harley yet again. If he can play well with the Moors and get those crucial picks for his team and continue to put the number advantage in his squad's favor, that's where IGI will see their success. If he can mimic the play style of Attach from FaZe on this map. Attach is fantastic, of double jumping right off spawn from that back basketball area, sitting S2 with that sniper and either getting information for his team and backing up, or picking up 1, even 2 kills. If Harley can do that throughout this game, I fully see IGI taking it and winning the series and getting themselves 3 points on the board. But if Spirit Gaming can find a way to shut him down, that's going to be their recipe for victory. They need to utilize stuns better. They need to know where he is, utilize stuns, and just flood him with aggression. Force him in those up-close engagements where he has to win with a machine pistol over the likes of an ASM-1.
Yeah, well, with that in mind, we've spoken about Harley and his Moors plays and the ability to get ridiculous picks. But the thing that concerns me is no one in Spirit Gaming has shown that ability also. So right now, it looks like IGI have the edge already, because Riot, very big map, very sniper dominated in a lot of aspects. And if you've got one player like Harley on form, getting those picks from distance, there's almost no competition on that front. You're essentially always surrendering first pick. And that's a real problem. But obviously, we've spoken about Riot an awful lot here at Gfinity, saying, you know, you definitely need to win your offense rounds, and you just need to take one defense round, because defending is conventionally harder on this map. But with that in mind, we've just seen a 6-0. Do you see that happening again, or do you think it's going to be a lot closer?
All momentum is in IGI's favor. The player to watch for me on Spirit Gaming is going to be Palooka. He needs to play a Zuma-type role in this final game, number 6. And I say that because he needs to just catch the boys of IGI off guard. Get them flustered, get them out of their groove. Right now, they're playing the games they want to play. It's their pace. Spirit Gaming needs to bounce back. They've been dominated the last 2 maps. We'll see if their fortune turns around here on Riot Search and Destroy.
Well, Riot S&D time. This is map number 6 of the Super 6 series here at the Gfinity Season 2 event. And it's all to play for both sides. This map, so crucial for IGI in particular, as if they win this map, they get 3 points and they actually give themselves some hope of avoiding relegation.
So here is exactly where Harley will play the attach-like playstyle. He'll double jump here to S2, spots at least one player he can call out.
UFO.
That is, it's an A push from the boys on Spirit Gaming. Able to pick up a kill. That's a trade. UFO had that Moors at the back police building. He gets cut down. Trades coming down yet again. It's now a 2-on-2 to start off first round of this Game 6. The bomb has already been planted.
Wow, Tank actually going on the full flank there. Palooka challenging that. I'm not sure about that play from him. He was in a power position in and around that cubby area, but rather than just stay there and just keep baiting out shots and just randomly fire it and put the pressure on,
that's it.
Actually pushed in, but there we go. Tank picks up the final 2 kills, gets a 3-piece that round. IGI winning a defense round already.
And that is exactly what you need from Harley. He might have missed a couple shots, might have looked a little sloppy, but here's the information he got right away for his team. Spotted the push coming down the A Street, could call out how many players there were, got first blood as well, and he even saw that UFO was rocking cold-blooded, so he wasn't able to be seen there through the thermal. Many things to grab for his team. Now swapping over to the Bow, as UFO not going to be playing that same defensive Moors role. Let's see if Harley can strike first blood yet again.
Yeah, he's using this coach barrier to actually give him some cover here, but he's actually going to switch weapons here. So great awareness
First
from
blood.
Harley. Sours getting first blood. Looks like Sours is going to play that slightly reckless role, and it looks like Bomb is down already. Sammy is going to go on the flank here, firing in those frag grenades. Is he going to get picked here? No, Harley once again just winning those gun battles, but Sammy picking up a kill. Sammy has been spotted on third, though. Palooka in around this bomb site. Palooka's been spotted here. Sloppy play from Palooka there. Is Harley going to get the second kill? Oh, misuses that dash to perfection. Sours 1v1 though.
Sammy already 2 kills to his name in this round. Sours left in the one-on-one. He's rotating through the middle of the map. You can see here Sammy's just able to defuse it. That's going to tie it up 1-1. Great heads-up play from Sammy to just hop on the bomb, and it's something we've seen a lot more in AW. You'll have a player just sit on it and just kind of hope that they don't check the bomb, and it worked out there in his favor. Might be a momentum swing.
Yeah.
That's one of those plays where it should be 2-0 right now for the boys on IGI, but because of a clutch play from Sammy, it's all tied up 1-1.
And it means that Spirit Gaming are going to hit back with winning a defense round of their own as well. So that early advantage, which IGI actually had, has been surrendered here. First blood goes in favor of Spirit Gaming as well. So IGI potentially under some pressure here, but it's all locked up at 1-1. 4v3 at the moment. IGI need this next pick.
Really like the spot from Cambo.
Yeah. What?
Okay, I think I just cringed from what just happened on my screen. 3 straight kills now for Spirit Gaming. Some very uncharacteristic type plays from Cambo there, just kind of beating himself, I think, in that corner there momentarily. And falling apart 1-1. The game is all tied up. This round should go over to Spirit Gaming. Harley's being chased down. They've spotted him. They're getting shots down. He's somehow alive. Okay. He's alive. He's a magician. What is going on?
He's just absolutely destroyed
What is going on?
and UFO. And it looks like he's spotted a player going around this box's area as well. He's going to pick up the third kill. Harley right now is absolutely going insane. 1v4. He needs one more kill to get the 1v4. Harley, what? I don't know what he's had for breakfast or what he's been eating, but please just share it around, because right now he is absolutely playing out of his mind. Tojo needs to get the bomb down as well. Harley, she's honestly speechless.
He should know that the bomb is being planted across the map. It will get down just in time to make the impossible happen. Harley left in the one-on-one. Spots the player in the middle map and loses the gunfight.
Wow.
Thank God for my health that he didn't make that happen. If he won that 1v4, I genuinely think I would have left. I would have just flown back to the US, because that should never happen.
Well, the thing is, Harley got a little bit unlucky there, obviously. I think at that stage, he's just had 3 kills, so he doesn't want to play his life too much. He doesn't want to push into the other bomb site. He knows the bomb is going to be going down over at A, but I thought if he makes that rotation, perhaps Tojo has had a bit of a panic. Maybe he hasn't got the bomb down, so maybe he just gets taken out from behind, and I think that would have definitely upset Harley. But once again, Harley showing he can definitely hang with the likes of Sours, and probably he's actually better, or playing better, I should say, than Sours at the moment, and he's kind of stealing the headlines himself, but Tank left in a 1v2. Wow. That's round done and dusted already, so all the momentum has just shifted to Spirit Gaming.
You could see, after that first round win, things have just gone downhill time and time again for the boys on IGI. A beautiful blind counter there out of Spirit Gaming to lock down that mid-riot area. There's your final kill coming out of UFO. 3-1 lead for Spirit Gaming. They're now back on offense, and this is a crucial round to determine how this final Game 6 is going to go. I'm hopping on board with Palooka to see how he starts off with this submachine gun.
Well, we're going to take a trip to the bakery and look at some breadsticks here. Cambo and Sours.
Wow.
Both
you went all in on that joke.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what that is commitment. But Palooka in around this benches area. He has got some support as well. Sours been taken out from behind, so first blood again going in favor of Spirit Gaming. Palooka's right next to someone, though. Oh, and
what a
he predicts
play.
it. He predicts it. Harley left in a 1v4.
It's almost like Spirit Gaming just decided, okay, guys, we're going to now try. Like, we're going to actually put effort in. 4 straight rounds. They're now running away with this one. IGI looking the exact same as they do when they're winning or losing. Not entirely sure if that team knows how to show emotion.
Well, it's not... That's not inherently bad as such.
It's got pros and cons.
It does have pros and cons, but with that being said, I mean, it's frustrating to see, like, there's not enough hype in the booth, in my view. Maybe... they can go away and perhaps think about getting in a coach, someone to get them pumped up always. I mean, that's something which seems like an obvious thing to me sat in the caster's booth, so I don't exactly know what's being said in that at this stage, but Harley...
Oh, that's all that happens with Epsilon.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
That's Dinge in that booth just gets his team hyped up. Off the start of this round, though, a beautiful beatdown from Cambo. Now able to get the number advantage finally in favor of IGI, but just
Sammy.
like that, Sammy makes a power play in the middle of the map. They know where the bomb is down at. The number advantage goes back over to Spirit Gaming. They are so close to taking a 5-1 round lead.
Tank was also spotted there by Sammy, so it looks like Spirit Gaming going to make a slight push towards this garage area. Oh, Harley, though, predicts it. Takes out another player, currently 8-5 here.
He spotted another one as well.
Yeah, well, the thing is not in a great position right now. Bomb is down on the other side of the map as well, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Palooka's actually been spotted in around that back boxes area, jumping up towards his third. But how is Harley going to approach us here? 2v2, all to play for IGI in particular. If they lose this round, 5-1 down, it wouldn't look good for them.
That timing. Tank falls right in front of UFO. Can't get an easier kill than that. Harley left in the 1-on-2.
Oh,
pushing out of mid-fire. He gets cut down. Spirit Gaming has completely taken over. And to be quite honest with you, Ink, it looks like we might have a tie on our hands.
It's looking that way, but I mean, that would definitely help Spirit Gaming with regards to avoiding relegation. That would then put them on 5 points overall. Hyper Games down on 3. IGI would go to 1. So IGI would pretty much confirm their relegation in all realistic fashion. Or realisticness. I don't know if that's a word, but still.
Oh, I have no idea either.
Anyway, UFO. 4-3 right now. Looks like he's been using that AR, also using Trophy System and Overclock. He's been playing aggressive, pushing towards the opposition second here. And he has support as well. Bomb going down here at this A site.
First blood to Spirit Gaming.
Tojo, how many times has he had a first blood in this game? I wish I knew.
So many.
I think he's had a first blood pretty much every round, to be honest with you. He's been playing insane. 9-4. He's taken over the Harley role of just outshining everyone else.
4v3, another kill going in favor of Palooka. The trades continuing to go on the side of Spirit Gaming. All going to be left to Sours in the 1-on-2. Can he keep his team alive in this game number 6? IGI, when they need to most,
Merry Christmas.
It looks like they're not going to be able to force another round. 10 seconds remaining. He's got to defuse this bomb. All Sammy needs to do is check it. He's going to do just that. Spirit Gaming wins 6 straight rounds. They tie up the series 3-3. Some silver linings here, I guess, for IGI. They got their first 3 map wins of so far this season.
Yeah.
They also got 1 point on the overall standings. That's going to move Spirit Gaming up to 5 points. That's going to put them above Epsilon. For the moment, IGI still down in last place. IGI tomorrow have to play VWS and then Millennium.
Well,
you can't. I mean, VWS. Could they have a chance at winning that one? Yeah, but Millennium. Do you see them winning that series at all?
No, probably not. But VWS right now, they're in a great vein of form. I've casted them a few times this season, and they've looked like a whole new side. They look like they can actually push to finish in the money, which would be an amazing result for them. But final thoughts on that series is just well played generally. I mean, IGI will be disappointed they didn't get all 3 points, but winning your first 3 maps in the first series of the day, I mean, that could be the best series of the entire day, to be honest with you. That was the standard which these two brought. And, you know, when we found out we were casting this game, we were like, oh, you know, maybe it's not going to be as good as some of the other games, and maybe it's not going to be as intense. But that really did surprise me, you, and everyone.
Games 1, 2, and 3, so close down to the final moments. Games 4, 5, and 6. Really just blow away victories for the respective squads. Great series close to the end. There's a look at your final scoreboard. Really, Tajor just stepping up for his team. 10-5, the 2.0 ratio. On the other side of things, Cambo and Sours just kind of falling apart there in that final search and destroy game. And I got to give a shout out to Harley from IGI.
Yeah.
Number 1 reason why his team was even able to tie up that series, had a massive game 4, an even bigger game 5.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, unfortunately, wasn't able to do enough.
Still not a bad game 6 at all. And I was just looking at it there, and I'm just saying, maybe Harley and Tank should swap gamer tags, because Harley is a damn tank. He is absolutely ridiculous, and I think out of this whole weekend, I think Harley has definitely made a little bit of a name for himself.
Well, Ink, great series to start off the Gfinity EU Pro League finale. Guys, we're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to see what they thought of that very close series.
Thanks a lot for that, chaps. I've watched the Call of Duty series, guys.
Revelation.
It's good. I'm in. Right, I've got this. I've got this now. I'm going to go.
What are you doing?
This is he's adapting. This is the chameleon.
Okay, so I'm like this now, and I have to drink this now, right? Is this? So I have a drink of this. This is going to go everywhere. Okay, I actually don't want to get any of this in my mouth, but okay.
What does it taste like?
Call of Duty. It tastes like victory.
To me, it tastes a bit like Tizer. Do you remember Tizer back in the day?
God, no, yeah. I definitely do. I was there before we had soft drinks. And I am also reliably informed I now need to blaze it 420 times a day, fam. So, pretty good. I like Call of Duty.
There we go. You set Call of Duty back 4 years. In 15 seconds.
Not bad.
We were doing good work, and it's just been undone.
We try to get it.
You say that, but I mean, look, I think more surprising than the fact that I'm wearing an Obey cap and drinking Mountain Dew is the fact that IGI got a draw.
Yeah.
I can't believe they won 3 maps.
Yeah. What happened?
I think the Spanish are just actually worse than we gave them credit for. Mainly, I'm not even going to give IGI that much credit for that. I'm generally going to sit here and say the Spanish points look dreadful.
Really?
IGI did step it up. There was a little bit more than we were expecting there. Sowers had some great games. Harley had some great games. But it's one of the things we were talking about here. We do think these are the worst 2 teams here. I do think the Spanish have had a little bit of luck online with some hosts and stuff. I don't like to talk about hosts that much online, but you got to give them the point. It is Spain to the UK.
Yep.
So there is that factoring in here. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the points there, I mean, some of my notes are sitting there going, both teams just looked horrific at points. And just like horrific, inconsistencies, bad rotations, pinches weren't going off. And I was probably focusing more on the mistakes than anything else, just because I was looking at it from, how do these teams actually stack up against teams I know won't make these problems.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It was overall really scrappy. I think the hard points, IGI for the majority of the first map, focused heavily on the spawns. They got a lot of the spawns. Unfortunately for them, their setups were just really poor. They had multiple people sitting in the hard point, not really doing anything. On the second hard point, they had people pushing into blue for no real need whatsoever. They didn't really have a lot of AR pressure, and that really hurt them on the first rotation. It wasn't until the second rotation they actually brought it out and started getting something out of it. Second map, it basically came down to the second to last hard point where you had a massive clash after the respawns, and Spirit actually came out the better of the 2 teams on that, but then they overextended, as you pointed out, and they lost complete control of that hard point.
I was focusing on rotations. I was like, at points both teams lacked the unity and the cohesiveness to actually do what they should do. And I'm sitting there going, there are teams in here this weekend that would not be making these mistakes, and it would be more consistent from them. I said, like, we were looking at one of the rotations going, they should have moved. Why has neither team moved? Considering how big this next hard point is for points.
We'll get into this.
Oh, okay.
So I know you're going to rip them apart. I can already see Bryce is gearing up to tear strips off them. But what we're going to do is we're going to throw over to an interview. We've got Josh from Deserto, who's going to be interviewing one of the IGI players, so we can find out how they managed to win 3 maps when they've gone an entire season without winning a single one. Take it away.
Thanks, Rich. I'm here with the captain, Sowers. Finally, some respite. 24 maps in a row lost, and now.
Yeah, it's been this season's been absolute hell, to be honest. We've used a lot of players. It's been really chaotic for us and the management of IGI, because we've used quite a lot of different players now. But coming to LAN, we feel like we're more confident with the teams we're playing at LAN. I think we showed what we could do this series. If we had a bit more practice, I think we could have easily won it. But yeah, online has been a lot of struggles getting players. We've had no practice online really, using different rosters every week. But this weekend we have a bit of practice, and we're feeling pretty confident against VWS. But Millennium may be a tough game for us, but we're feeling pretty good right now.
According to Brycey, the 2 worst teams, Spirit and IGI, must be quite deflating, obviously, coming into a tournament, knowing, obviously, you have that reputation.
Yeah, I agree with him, because we're not a team, as far as I'm concerned. It's been a mess for us. We had a roster at the start of the season. A couple of players fell out, and we couldn't actually keep the same roster we wanted to have, which has resulted in a lot of changes for us, so we've not been able to have the stability in practice we wanted. So I agree with his comment. So I think for us to pull out a draw against a very well-practiced Spanish team who are really good in their own right is good for us, really. And I think individually we all had great performances there. We showed what we could do. But going up against tough teams in Europe, it's the best teams in Europe. There's no shame. We've got nothing to be ashamed of being at the bottom of the league with the situation we're in. But we feel confident going into the next game against VWS.
So tomorrow, obviously, you've got VWS and Millennium. A confidence booster today, no doubt. So surely, obviously, you're going to continue for success. Have you got a more confident kind of mindset now going into tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. We had a bit of a rough start against Spirit on the hard point. We brought it back, but I just think it depends on the maps. Like the DLC maps, we've got no practice really as a team. I think if we get maps that suit us, we've got a good chance. Millennium's going to be really tough. I think they're top of the league right now, possibly. So they're looking really strong. We're just focused on the next game for now. I think we can do some damage.
Well, congratulations anyway. Guys, back to you.
Hey, sorry about that. We were just chatting away about that interview there.
I actually, first thing, I just want to give props to Sowers there. Like, it's not an easy thing when an interview goes, so, one of the guys said, you're the worst teams here. And he went, yeah, we are. And I think for that's kind of actually sums up Sowers a little bit. He's very humble and he kind of knows his own limitations. And it's something we actually saw through the game. He was actually very consistent. At points, he wasn't dropping numbers, but some of the kills he made, some of the positions he was taking up were way more important than just stats.
Yeah, look, definitely. I mean, obviously Harley rightfully got a lot of the praise from that. But, you know, Sowers came up big at key moments for his team, and that was the player we sort of highlighted at the start. We were talking about him being this veteran, you know, somebody that's had the kind of crippling realities of real life crush the esports dream, right, which I'm sure we all can identify with, Bracey?
Wow. Not necessarily at all.
But, you know, props to the captain, right?
No, he played really well in the first map. Like, for me, that first map was basically a 1v4. It was Sowers versus the other team, and it was kept very close. For me, you could tell it wasn't a practice team, and I almost don't want to bash any of the players anymore because of the fact that they've admitted that they're not a well-practiced team. It almost takes the fun out of abusing people in that sense. But like, it genuinely wasn't very well played by either of them. They did well to get spawns in that first map, but overall the setups were just shocking.
I mean, right, okay, so some of the notes I made there, I mean, the Spanish we know are going to be scrappy anyway. They've always played like lunatics. They always do. I mean, they play, you know, kind of different to a lot of teams play, that sort of that bubble they're in with their community, very rarely get to these tournaments. IGI, and I was looking at it going, they're hitting the rotation. I mean, the Spanish are just making mistakes, and it's mistakes they're making, but IGI were trying to do the right thing, but you could see that at points, they weren't sure on what each other were doing. So, you know, they were doubling up in some positions, and they were moving wrong. There's a lot of swapping going on, simply because they didn't know how to play with each other as much as they could have done. And it's something that Sowers touched on that interview. He goes, we've used so many players here, and yet so many of these rosters play together regularly, that it's difficult for them to kind of, you know, if they're doing that, they're not in the right positions. They don't have as many guns as they need in certain choke points. And it's probably just really scrappy. I imagine if you listened into their communications during that, they were screaming at each other, trying to figure out what the hell they were doing, let alone calling out the other team.
Well, I mean, you saw firsthand that when they got the first map, they didn't even really celebrate at all. It was just really flat, kind of muted. Almost as if they were kind of putting a lot of pressure on themselves. You know, I guess you've had an embarrassing regular season online. You come to the LAN component of the tournament, and obviously you don't want to embarrass yourself here. So,
well, the map that really highlighted the lack of construction in the team for both teams was the comeback on Uplink. I mean, there was
I should have won that map.
There was a lot of glass control from both teams when they had the good side. They couldn't really get hold on the bad side, which really is the part of the actual map itself where you start to take a hold of the game and you really separate yourself from the other team. And what really was the problem is no one seemed to understand how to OE. I saw Spirit Gaming doing it, like some of them would run towards blue, some of them would run for the OE to try and get the ball reset, and it never worked. Even for IGI, they didn't even bother doing one single OE the whole game. And the only time it actually worked was at the very last second of the second half where Sammy OE'd by himself and just waited for the ball reset.
But that's the kind of inconsistent we're talking about here. A team, if they're going to OE and they're going to overextend and try get that control back and give the points away, they need to commit to it. If you don't commit to it, all you've actually done is put yourself at a deficit if you lose the gun battles. I was looking at going, you know what, IGI should have this. They're 1 point down, they're on the good side. They can really easily get a few easy one-pointers in from long range here, and then they just didn't do it. They didn't have control. I mean, it wasn't even like the Spanish really set up. They were just playing in their usual fast manner,
just kill people.
Yeah, and just running in and keep scoring it. And IGI could not lock them down. There was, you know, right, glass control was a myth at points for them. They just had none of it. And if that's going to happen when you have a good chance, like I said, 2.5 minutes left, you're 1 point down on the good side. That for me was I sat there, I went, so IGI, I've got this. And then I looked back a minute later and I was like, the score's now, 15-12. This is not how it should be going. IGI should have had this in the bag. And funny enough, that actually sums up almost their entire series. There are points where IGI should have taken it, but I think, like I said, lack of play time, lack of chemistry really put them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was no doubt. I mean, every map sort of seemed to be at one point. I think there was one kind of really one-sided game but everyone seemed really, really close, like cut and thrust. And it didn't matter what game mode was being played. They were pretty much level pegging all the way. So, I mean, in that sense, are IGI going to feel disappointed, or are they going to feel just relieved? You know, the season hasn't been a complete washout.
I think you saw it in the interview. He seemed really
He knew his team's he knew
Yeah.
his team's limitations. He knew what they were coming into here. You don't. I mean, you cannot. It's called delusional confidence, right? Every player wants to go into that booth with delusional confidence, so they feel like they're going to win every gunfight. You cannot have that delusional confidence when you come to an event after going 0-24 in maps. So for him to start winning those maps, I was surprised to not see more of a momentum shift when they won their first map. You could be sitting there going, we haven't won a map in 25, and now it was the 26th map, you win it. Surely, at that point, there's got to be some sort of, right, let's win another one. Right, let's see if we can actually do it. Let's win a game.
Yeah.
But they didn't seem to have that kind of effervescence to actually bring themselves back into this. But the rest of it, I said, it was a bit one-sided. I mean, map number 5 was horrifically one-sided for IGI, and I genuinely believe that's because both teams haven't practiced that map anywhere near enough. So IGI were actually better individually.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in that map. It was IGI were better individually. The Spanish hadn't practiced it anywhere near enough, and neither had IGI, so it was kind of a crapshoot. Who's the better squad individually?
That basically summed it up there. It's a new map, obviously, a DLC map.
Yeah.
It's not been practiced very well from either teams. It's all about making picks. It's not your traditional search and destroy map where you're aiming to get the bomb down. You're just trying to get kills rather than actually play the objective in that one. So it's a bit more different to how these guys have played it. They've obviously not practiced it very well, and we've got to give credit to IGI for getting 3 maps out of this. They're going to be very comfortable with it.
I think they could have got more. I think they could have got more.
Playing online, obviously, there's only so much you can take away from it. They've come here, they've won 3 maps straight away in their first game, and you've got to also give them credit for they've had some incredibly hard fixtures. They've had Infused, Epsilon, I think they've had Millennium as well, Hyper Games. Those are some tough games to have online, especially. So I think they're going to be very happy with what happened here. They're probably going to have some confidence boost going into the next 2 games.
Just a quick final thought about Spirit. Are they going to be? How are they going to be feeling? I mean, can they bounce back from this?
They've had moments of shining, and then they've had
what
moments of downs.
It's exactly what I expected from Spirit. I expected them to be at points, their tempo and the momentum will be fantastic. At other points, I generally just go, there's the same mistakes they always make. The same the rushing in, the running down choke points they shouldn't be doing, terrible pinches.
Yeah.
And when we see them against better teams in this tournament and better teams later on, I think they're going to get smashed into the floor.
Yeah,
I think they're going to get absolutely ruined.
Well, we'll see if you guys are right. Thanks a lot for your thoughts. We're going to take a short break now. So everybody at home, don't go too far. It's only going to be about 8 minutes or so. Just enough time to get you some more of this and maybe your own Bay cap so you can join in. That's what you all do. Anyway, we will see you then in a bit.
Wait, you're not on it? I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Where are you at?
Interesting choice it would be, but he doesn't pull it. Gets it. There's one. Oh, it's
no,
going to be
he's
close.
good.
He gets
The second one. Clay, the MVP with the 2 snipes. All smiles, high fives coming from Attach. The birthday boy able to pick it up.
Wow, and look at that, the accuracy there. And I mean, you know, in those close quarters.
They didn't really have full control. They were defending the flank over and over again. And another thing with doing it, eventually you will get overwhelmed in that position. The other thing will be able to eventually break it, maybe get a 2-meter touch. Oh my goodness.
There's the 4-2. Can he pick it up? He gets it.
Oh my
The entire team at TCM taken out in a matter of seconds. Attach, man, he is young. He is still developing as a player, but God, he is